they perform better. It feels like they're more comfortable. They've got more things on the board for them to work with. So
yeah, I agree with that. Ramsey's had some inconsistent games. He's going to fight him, though.
Yes, because he's got a Winter Wyvern here. He's going to do percentage base damage, slow him down with that Splinter Blast. Roger will get a kill.
And they are about to use the strategy that was developed by the one and only Kyle Swindlemelons Friedman and Complexity, the Winter Wyvern Axe. I remember this game. I don't remember the date. I can't pull a full Kyle here or the tournament, but this was something they pulled out at one point, and it was insane. They just mega stacked Ancients. They used Cold Embrace to make Axe invulnerable, and he got dummy thick farm. And we're about to see that. He's got a Vanguard, and he's going to be able to go physical immune while spinning. It doesn't make sense, guys. Just go with it. So he'll be frozen in Ice Block, yet spinning his fists around. It's confusing.
I've never heard you say dummy thick before.
Just wait to see the network numbers here in a second.
There it is, the Cold Embrace. Give us some spins here. Oh, we're not going to get to watch spins. We're going to watch B2 and get bullied out here in the top lane a little bit, because Big Dom has, of course, made his own rotation. And look at the network. He's just getting off of this. And then Iceberg grabbing himself. You know, he's gonna age the other bounty in for a little bit. Come back when he needs that little bit more regen.
Frozen spins. There we go.
There we go.
All right, and that is the most farmed hero on the map, guys. Congrats to Ram. He hasn't quite finished up the last 2 inches. But oh, he wanted to stack just farming.
The efficiency. You love efficiency.
Very good.
It's indeed the top lane, though. Again, this ancient apparition just cannot afford to be stepping forward like this at all. It's not even that forward, to be quite honest. The power of this lineup here with a Wraith King and the Grimstroke is just too strong for him to approach that quick wave at all. And look how close we're getting to the next item here for Ramses.
And now Roger gets some experience in the lane. He's almost 5. Ram's almost level 7 now. Big
Big Nom.
Stacking.
All right. He's just gonna make a little jaunt over here. Check out what they've got going on. Run away.
I love to when it hits like the 7-minute mark and they pick up a bunch of neutral items instantly. That's a little bit extra advantage that you can have in stage 2. So you grabbed 3 neutral items there at the last moment. So instantly those get flown out. It's gonna make them a little bit more effective in lane. Iceberg is going to get a Fated Brooch. He'll be really happy with that. Morana does have some mana issues a little bit in the early game.
Nefen doesn't quite have enough here to take down this Wyvern. Big Dom in position, so is Slayer. Arrow coming in hot here from Iceberg. He has to be careful. Does have an illusion rune, though. He's going to start chasing after Big Dom instead. They've got the Starfall. Needs just perhaps a bit more damage than they have it. No, they don't. The Cog's pushing back Iceberg.
Radiant's
should have gone for the courier. JK is still dead. Oh my god, that's sick.
And now Ramses has the call. Is going to try to drag them away, perhaps? No. Not going to be able to stay alive. All of this is. Ghostic is allowed to have a little bit more space in the top lane and just continues to put pressure on his creeps. Not exactly the easiest kill for this duo to take down.
It's not, but on the bright side, V-Tune should be farming better. There is a lot of magic damage coming from Grimstroke mainly, so Tide still has to be a little careful. But they're not really, no one's going to really die here unless there's rotations, and there's been so much pressure in other places on the map that it still makes V-Tune's game pretty darn safe. Ramsey's going the Manta build though, picked up his Blade of Alacrity. He likes it, he's going for it, they're far enough ahead, I don't think it's going to be a problem at all once he gets it at a decent point. The only problem is, it's farmed so well, it's going to take a while till he gets to 20 minutes, right?
How do you feel? Gosh, look, even all of these stacks coming out here. Gotta be careful that, of course, the Tidehunter doesn't spot them out. But how do you feel about the fact that, you know, they're a little lacking in that initiation then, I guess, on the side of Navi, if they're just going to be going for that Manta Shard build?
I don't think it's that big of a deal, because, I mean, they already have a big net worth advantage, right? So if they just play safe and don't get that much done on the map, then I don't think it's a big deal, because they already have a net worth advantage, so it makes the ganks that their opponents put in them less dangerous, because they have more levels and life to deal with it, basically. So I'm not super concerned. He'll get Blink eventually, obviously. He chooses here to get Yasha first, because the speed is quick. So it's like, well, I might as well buy the Yasha before I get the Blink, because it's not like I want to gank with a Winter Wyvern. Those kills are less likely to work, so I think it's fine.
Makes sense.
Like Shadow, like, there's ways that they can do things.
We get a lot of stacking action, though, coming out from both the teams. FN, of course, getting a nice stack from his Ancient Apparition, but you know, it's interesting watching. You know, we think of Ramses being the primary person to take stacks, but then you have, you know, the Grimstroke of the Mirana taking a stack off to the side as well.
Yeah, that's one of the cool things about the Mirana made. It really is very versatile in what it encompasses. Like, your itemizations are all over the place. This game is going Maelstrom. I'm pretty sure he didn't buy that last time, but like that's what's so cool about Mirana. You can be a nuker, you can be utility, buy like a Yule's first, you can buy like Greaves type items as a core here. You can be flexible, go in Maelstrom just to be more right click because they want other solutions to deal with Morphling.
I think they did a Veil last time on Iceberg's Mirana. Because they had the Warlock as well, right? So, you know, you've got that Fatal Bonds and the amping of everything. So, like you said, lots of options. They do know that the Mirana's down here, though. They see that arrow getting tossed out towards Palantimos. They're just wandering over here. It's going to give a couple clicks over to Bignum. A couple clicks onto the tower now, and
thinking pretty good.
Radiant
Iceberg just doesn't care. Okay, there it is. There's FN with the blink. Oh, the follow-up though with the Winter's Curse, so they do get the kill on Iceberg. They'll be able to put a decent amount of damage over onto FN.
That was really nice of FN to throw Mirana all the way to heaven. That way, you know, she was there before she died, that kind of a thing.
Yeah, you know, he's just trying to help out.
Up into the air.
You don't even see her fall.
Yeah, you don't have to feel as bad that way. It's like telling a child white lie about it or something.
I don't know where you're going with that one. But we do have the Ice Blast online now, of course, for the Ancient Apparition. So you can see Unique, they want to make some plays here as Bignum reaches forward here, has that hook shot. The follow-up here method. I don't believe they need the Ice Blast, but, you know, they'll throw it out just for funsies.
You know, it's like telling your kid that Timmy the dog just ran away, that's all.
He's living on a farm now?
Yeah, exactly.
Mirana's living on a farm now. I don't know. I don't think Farm Mirana is too good, as neither does always want to fly, because he is very dead here. So Unique starting to, you know, really amp up that acceleration here now that Tiny has the Blink Dagger and we've got the Ice Blast online.
Is under attack.
Yeah, he basically went for a Blink Rush. Usually pro players, when they're having okay Tiny games, they'll go Phase or Treads first, but he opted for Blink instantly. Absolutely pays off. He punishes the Mirana rotation bottom. That was a little bit lingered. That stayed a little bit too long. Now getting a support kill. This is what's going to change things for sure. He just needs to move around and get a bunch of kills. Race getting a little bit harder. And God, is so farmed actually. He's got Midas and 2,500 towards Relic, just about under 13 minutes in the game, and his levels are going to be higher than normal. He's having a great game, but yeah, they could gank him, but kill him twice, that one's going to be harder.
You know that it's a great game for a core when we don't mention him hardly at all during the laning phase. It just means that you've been allowed to move around the map, you've been able to farm, and that's exactly what V-Tune's been able to do. Same thing, though, on the flip side for this Tidehunter, right? The Tidehunter has basically been allowed to just kind of do his own thing, but definitely not going to be as accelerated as a Wraith King, who has, of course, the Skelly Men, he's got that Midas, and is going to be having that Radiance. But Maelstrom now completed for Iceberg, and you can see they're making an invasion over here into the jungle.
Dire's top tower has fallen.
Yeah, it was a good time for V-Tune to shift down. I mean, there's a reason he has insane amounts of MMR. Reads the map, realizes that his opponents are going to go take his safe lane tower. He does the opposite. Make it harder for them to go pressure him while getting objectives done like they want to. But at this point, what's going to happen basically is they'll just sit Ramses in the dangerous lanes. He's still pretty darn tanky. He doesn't have much magic resistance. That's one thing that's really hurting him here. It's against like Tiny and AA ganks, especially with 3 points and Ice Vortex. Ramses is definitely versatile now, so he's got to be a bit careful as they try to defend this stage of the game and continue farming.
Got a bit of an invasion going on. Roger gonna fly right past Slayer here.
Yeah, they got one ward in the jungle to help spot their opponents a little bit. That will be helpful, most likely. Once they make the Manta, things will get a lot easier, because even though Ramses doesn't have a shard yet, he can definitely start cutting waves with Manta-style illusions. And when he starts doing that, it makes it harder for Unique to make fights. And this is one of the things that plagues like almost all players of Dota at like lower levels, is like they don't understand why they can't find kills. It's because they don't push lanes, and thus it's hard to like get across the map and get kills. So if you just do the opposite, if you make it so your opponents can't get across them with their creeps, it's just so much harder to find kills. So it'll really shut down this ganking playstyle if Ramses can effectively cut waves with the Manta later on. It'll just buy them time and give them better map control. It's a really good thing to do.
Smoke up over on the side of Unique as they're looking to get their hands on someone. Of course, FN, the Blink, Bignum with the hook shot. Lots of ways to initiate and jump on people. Let's drop a couple wards. And they start creeping. They might be able to find Ramses again. That's a pretty difficult kill, but with the Ice Blast, boom, immediately the toss up into the air, the Ice Blast connects, and down go. Ramses Iceberg did manage to land himself an arrow, but I don't think he wants to go on and deal with all that, especially not with Ghost Stick standing very nearby here.
He eventually gets cleaned up. He's got no magic resistance on him. He's absolutely vulnerable to Tiny Burst. Tiny's burst damage goes from like, I don't know, a little bit over 1200 to like massive areas if you're amplifying by another 20%. So,
Dire's
yeah,
middle
very killable.
tower is under attack.
Camp is like the safest one, but the most dangerous one to jungle, but it's a generally a safe one. But usually people stand a little bit more to the right. Running up into the cliff or running up into the high ground like that was a little risk by let's see if they get the tower out of it though. Possibility.
And that is the goal. Not the greatest at being able to hit these buildings. And they do spot out Iceberg, who's popping that arcane rune. And just clean up the creep wave here. Always want to fly, making his way over, throwing out Stroke Fate. But the tower does eventually fall. And Unique will walk away very pleased with this. Double damage right outside the Roche pit, and into the pit they go.
They got gushed. Alright, Roche is dead.
Yep.
This is gonna hurt Navi a little bit. They're popping the ulti, they're moving over, but
I don't think they can get there in time. No,
DD on Morphling is busted. It's so good.
Casual arrow gonna get tossed in, lands over on the Tide Hunter, and they secure themselves the Aegis on the side of Unique.
I think that was pretty likely to happen anyways. I mean, they hit their timing perfectly right. They have Medallion in time. Rush is always going to help out taking Roche. And Navi didn't really want to get on the map too much. They've been planning this from the get-go. And frankly, if the network goes closer,
Rockmaker spotted out, tossed into the air, and he is indeed dead. They will try to take down FN, though. They should be able to do it. He's very, very far forward from the rest of the team, so just a little bit of a chase. They have that Phantom on him, and it's going to be the Maelstrom proc that slays the Tiny. And the Radiance, though, completed 4v2.
Radiance is up and Manta on Axe, so everything that looked promising about Unique is kind of just gone away in that last movement. I mean, it was a great kill on the A, but Iceberg rotating like that, landing his arrow, huge play on them time. So now they're not going to feel afraid to fight, basically. Even if they get ravaged, they're still doing Radiance damage. As long as they can like counter-initiate a little bit, it would be huge. They still like really need a Glimmer or something. Potentially to protect against the A or the Tiny combo, but it's pretty hard to react in time generally. Did you see what Roger's building?
Yeah, I did. It's a Witchblade.
Yeah, this is normally it's a griefing in pubs when your supports build Witchblades on end heroes like this. It's generally not good, but he will have more armor. That's kind of cool. But past that, I'm a little mystified. I'm more to truly gauge on whether it's good.
No, I'm sure he's going to give you the opportunity to see if it's or not as well.
I mean, the nice thing is that, like, again, he doesn't have to worry about clockwork initiating because he can just fly over cogs. That part's solved. And I guess extra armor is good against, like, your Morphling, maybe Tide type heroes, but I thought he built something else.
Spot out Big Numb. P2 running down. We'll open up the Ray Fire Blast. Arrow not gonna quite connect it, whereas they do have the right stun. They'll follow up with the Ravage. They won't be able to slow them down just a little bit. Ice Blast over onto the backline. They're gonna try to blow up Iceberg. Not gonna be able to quite manage to do it now. As you can see, Palantimos trying to chase on the back lines here. Turn himself into his own form of the Wraith King. But they don't have to worry about that Ravage anymore. Ramses is looking for some of these spins. They've got the top. The waypoint coming through, though. Can V2 finish off this Tide Hunter? Yes, he can. Turn their attention away, though. It looks like they're not chasing after Palantimos here. As V2's found himself someone else over on the back lines. Here it is indeed Slayer. So there will be no Ancient Apparition allowed to participate in this fight any longer.
Really good fight. I mean, everything was basically changed when Ron was able to leap out of Ice Blast. When that happens, that's most of Unique going in. They missed their burst opportunity. The Ravage was used. They didn't even burn Wraith King ultimate. Here's that fight once again. They also got to jump on Clockwork right away, so they didn't have to deal with him initiating and making the Ice Blast easy. That was a really big deal. Not the prettiest arrow we've ever seen, but almost was good. Ravage basically just like offset the initiation, and because they weren't able to kill the Mirana right there, completely changes the fight. So he gets his ulti off, he's able to do more right clicks, more Starstorm, stuff like that. I'm sure they'd still do fine even if Mirana died, considering and a great Manta dodge there by Ramses. Dodged the stun, came out of Morphling. But yeah, good fight from Navi. And then Axe took the Ava toss combo, didn't do that much. It's looking great for Navi after winning that.
Alright, well now with the Ravage down, I wouldn't be surprised to see Navi try to make any more plays. Though we are getting closer towards that Axe shard, so perhaps we'll wait a little bit longer here. There it is, bot on up.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
No worry for them. They don't need to do much. Like, they're still out farming their opponents. They probably feel confident in their farming lineup here. I mean, they're even going to buy Manta on Wraith King. That's a little bit surprising as well. But hey, getting out of some disables can be nice, and it's more split push. They like don't want to fight their opponents head on, basically. Just want to out farm them, I guess.
I mean, it's working.
Tower is under attack.
Yeah, a lot of that was the laning stage, but still, yeah, pushing their advantages is really, it's a really good thing to do.
I feel like they've got some really nice item timings too. You've got the Shard online for Axe. You've now got the BKB online for Iceberg. I mean, they don't have to do anything necessarily, but I wouldn't be surprised to see them try to make some of these plays out. Yeah, look at this, just popping that mantle, throwing the creeps here.
Is under attack.
Playing so carefully. Iceberg isn't even worried about pressure in the mid tier 1. He could have forced it a little bit, but saving his BKB charge, doesn't want to do anything that's overly aggressive. 2 observer wards, no! Always want to fly, almost got a double D ward, open sick. He did a stroke of fate, saw both of them up there, and then one of them despawned. At like level 50.
It always feels good when you're supporting, you get the double D ward.
Link up next for Ramses. He's decided it's finally time to fight a little
Radiant
bit.
are scanning.
Farming the most dangerous areas right now because he's got BKB.
Double damage, getting popped here by Iceberg. He doesn't need any help here, and that is a dead Slayer, and the Ice Blast got used during that.
That one looked pretty easy, all right. Mirana, one of the few ranchers to have a mobility skill. So
Radiant
in AA.
structures are fortified.
Easy.
Tactic Burn getting popped here by Roger. Even going through like Shadow as well. Don't slow down Big them. They use the dust, so they do have the vision. They're going a little bit deep here
Radiant's
since
middle
they
tower has fallen.
still had that middle tower up at the time, but now that the middle tower is down, this map is just feeling very,
Dire's top tower is
very
under attack.
open and wide for the side of Navi, and it's feeling a little tight for the side of Unique.
It really is, yeah. Giving Roger everything. Let him buy a Witchblade. He gets the Vambrace as a 4 position. That's usually like a core item, but
I am the carry now.
well, yeah, for him, yeah. I was pretty underwhelmed with that Witchblade damage right there. I'm not gonna lie. Expecting a whole lot more, but oh, I guess there's a hood on me.
Shake my head, flaming Rogers choices when in reality Bignum was just prepared. Purge just wants to see the core wyvern. He just wants to see core wyvern with a bloodthorn, you know.
Haste.
Palantimos has a Scotty timing here. That's very good against Mirana. The slow's going to be incredibly good. Very good against Wraith King too. They can find an
Okay,
initiation.
yeah, they found the initiation. It is a V-tune though. They have to be careful. It feels almost a little bit slow in the way that they turn back in. They'll get the Soulbind off, and Bignum goes down. All right, that is going to be the reincarnation. The jump forward here coming out from Iceberg at the call over the side. They're able to take down Palantimos. And can they get the Ghostic? It feels like they should be able to. They have any leap charges left now. It's gonna have to be the running old-fashioned ways. They're gonna try to teleport out. They don't have the vision. Oh, the split triple X. No. So close.
Arrow was huge. Morphling felt really confident in that fight, and that's one of the scary things when you go to initiate. Sometimes you just get hit by those arrows that weren't necessarily intended for you, and that arrow guarantees that Phantom's Embrace hits him, but then he doesn't get morph off.
Radiant's
And
bottom
the
tower
event actually kind
is
of paid
under
off here.
attack.
It basically
Are
made
scanning.
Clockwork's initiation feel not good. The battery cell damage is being split. It makes it harder for Tiny to do an Avatar, say waveforms in to secure the kill, but the arrow is going to come in and nail him. And as a result, they get the follow-up with the silence, a lot of right-click, extra leap charges, another stun. He gets blown up, and Ravage tries to save him, but it's too late. So 12k gold advantage now, and they might find Tiny.
Oh,
in the
very
trees.
close. The pings are out. The arrow. No, he is gone. But yeah, that last fight very nicely done with the splitting up too, the delay of that Ravage with the Axe jumping onto the back lines. And yeah, things are just looking really good for Navi here.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Pressure on the bottom tower.
Rana too. Oh, they're gonna get that.
Illusion!
Makes sense. Let him cut the waves. These last a really long time. They're way better. I think it's like a minute or something for Illusion. Oh, it looks like a little bit more, about minute 10, like a minute 20, something like that. So you can cut waves really well with this. Better than his Manta.
Look how confident V-Tune was in the bottom lane. He was just pushing that out all by himself. He will regroup with the rest of the team. And without the Ravage being online, I'm a little concerned here for Unique.
I mean, again, they're not too worried about committing to a fight. They're going to have some more solutions late game. V2's item build, pretty weird looking. Like if you took us, this is like a perfect item build to be like, hey guys, what the item? Who bought this item set? They might be able to figure out. The Midas Radiance is a little bit obvious, but like it's going to be a Manta Scotty. It looks like an Illusion hero. like that. So when he gets the Scotty, it's going to limit the healing of Morphling, so he's just going to fight Morphling. He's got net worth advantage over him, so it doesn't make me scared at all for Navi's late game chances having this advantage. You need to win a fight on the unique side, and he's going to build
Radiant's bottom tower
Satanic
is
next to
under
Morphling
attack.
too. Scotty's going to shut that down a bit. So just all things looking great for Navi as the game continues.
Pressure is definitely on. 13k net worth lead at about 25 minutes in. Roshan is back up. So you can feel that that's definitely going to be the next objective as the boys start marching their way into the pit. Unfortunately for FN, he's just had a little difficulty this time around. It feels like whenever he's trying to go in for some of these plays, there's an immediate follow-up, or at least there's groups coming out from the side of Navi.
Yeah, and he
Radiant's
has gotten,
middle
he did get a couple of those
tower is
crucial
under
kills after having a rough laning stage, which is great. But since then, his kill options are basically Winter Wyvern and Grimstroke. Those are the only two heroes that are really vulnerable here. It's very likely that Mirana is able to protect herself in most cases. So
Radiant's
he's just got to
middle
hit
tower
creeps
is
for
under
now and
attack.
just continue farming. Because it's not his ability to keep getting kills is just not going to be this game. So that's going to really hurt his ability to win the game and feel like a really strong mid hero.
Is under attack.
I mean, one nice thing is that you do have the Blink Dagger now for the Tidehunter, and you've also got a BKB pickup down for Tiny. So all that nuke damage coming out from Mirana not going to feel as bad as it did before. Got more options online.
And he doesn't have to worry about Grimstroke ulti or Sphinx Wells or things like that. That's the big thing. A lot of times as you go in Tiny, you get
Radiant's
counter-initiated
middle
on, you end up
tower is
dying
under
to
attack.
overall main magic damage, but the work won't be his problem for now. Moonlight Shadow gets used, Navi's into position, and they're getting ready to fight at this
Radiant's
tower.
top tower is
V-Tune's
under
just
attack.
working away over here. They have to realize something's up. There's no way that V-Tune just shows up like
Radiant
this.
structures are
Yeah.
fortified.
We'll sit on the cliff. Got that great cliff ward. Roach is available, so this fight's going to determine a lot. Whoever, if somebody wins it
Radiant's
one-sided,
top tower
that's
has fallen.
Aegis, that's Shard. V-Tune goes for the D-Ward. He's so confident because he's so tanky here. This Scotty. Unique's gonna have to cede high ground. They lost their vision. That allows Navi to move in and see if they can start a fight. V-Tune knows he's so far ahead.
Yeah, Ramses is
Radiant's
hunting.
top
They can see
tower is
Ghost Stick
under
immediately
attack.
blinking away. Ramses showing up. Look at the Unique is just being sheepdogged way over here.
Yeah.
V2, come on, guys!
That close one, he's actually by himself.
V2's, yeah, he's just literally all by himself here. He's like, all right, use everything on me. I'm gonna come back up. I'm gonna have that slow. That is the reincarnation. Ramsey's waiting carefully in position. The Ravish follows up. They need to get in there. There it is. There's Ramsey jumping in. He's got those spins. He's doing a decent amount of damage. His Phantom falls on the back lines. They go with the curse. They've already taken down V2. So be a buyback now from the clock. Where's the soul bind coming out? They're just trying to beat down here over on Mirage. She's at the BKB. So she is able to kite effectively as Ramsey's trying to get in position. Does manage to get the call. The spins come out. That's a dead Palantimos.
Shadow.
As the side of Navi, they still want more. The blink for the inks. Well, oh no, Victim just fought back. He is dunked out of existence.
Axe will make something useful
That could
with
have been
your
a lot
bow.
worse for Team Unique. I mean, that was pretty crazy how deep V-Tune was. They do get the kill, though. It goes to Morphling. He gets 726 gold for that kill. But they will probably lose Roshan. Mirana's right-click being effective. I'm curious to see who gets the shard. Ooh, Ice Blast gets slowed down, though.
It will indeed. We'll back off for a moment here. Ramses, he's still letting those illusions tank up. Got some nice vision placed over on the side of Navi, though. Paired.
Oh, the
FN, though.
and spins.
It's happening. But look at the positioning.
To Mirana. That's what I want to see. That crit damage from the lead.
That does feel good. Alright.
Immortality.
Aegis on Iceberg, and we've got the shard on the Mirana, as you liked.
So one extra leap charge, that part's pretty cool. And then 1.5%, or basically 50% extra damage during leap duration is 2.5 seconds. So that's pretty cool. He doesn't have that much raw damage because he has a Mjolnir, which obviously is very likely the right item build, which is great here. It's buffed quite a bit. But yeah, as he buys more items, once he goes like a Daedalus or more raw damage, it'll be a lot of damage.
We do have a Blink Dagger picked up recently for the Winter Wyvern as well. So we will see some interesting position. They have so much mobility coming out from the side of Navi, where I feel like Unique, you know, they've got this clockwork, right? He's had some nice hook shots, but the problem is how do you bridge that gap quick enough with some of these other heroes?
It basically is like, you just need Ice Vortex, you need Tiny in range, and everything will be fine. In that last fight, when they went on the Wraith King after he respawned, one of the things that hurt them a lot was that while the Ice Blast landed, Tiny only had Toss available at the time. His Avalanche was still on cooldown for 4 seconds, and Avalanche gets doubled in damage while somebody is, or I'm sorry, 2.5 times damage while somebody is tossed in the air. So because they didn't have Avalanche as well, they didn't kill them the Wraith King quite as fast as they wanted.
Ramses couldn't even get the dunk off that time. The clockwork just melted so quickly.
Got Pipe
Radiant's
too.
top tower.
Pipe has made quite the comeback in the last couple of weeks, actually.
Radiant's
People
middle
saw
tower
it as
is
like a
under
little bit
attack.
too expensive, so people just kind of
Dire's
bought
bottom
hoods, but a
tower
lot
is
of
under
offlaners have
attack.
been buying Pipe lately. Clockwork on him, it doesn't quite work as well, just because usually you're the guy that jumps in right away and dies in a lot of cases, or gets so out of position that you die. Usually it functions better on offlane heroes like Pipe, for example, but
Radiant's
I would
middle
also say
tower
Solar
is
Presence on
under
Clock
attack.
doesn't work so good.
Radiant's
This is
middle
a
tower has
nice
fallen.
happy medium, but it's network advantages.
Few lanes shoved in pretty nicely over on the side of Navi, and Unique is struggling to get out of the base right now. They did manage to push out the bottom wave, which give them some more breathing space, but do have a Blink Dagger picked up now for Wraith King, and we already saw how confident V-Tune has been playing, the way he's just been diving into 5 heroes all by himself. This is just going to make that aggression even stronger, I have a feeling.
And the Time Slipper too solved some of the magic
Radiant
damage
are
problem that he was dealing with.
Ramsey is getting both of them immediately. The taunt, the Ice Blast comes out as well. Down will go Palantimos. Does have buyback. They get the Witcher's Curse off. Can they finish off that event fast enough? No, not going to be able to. Arrow sliding in. Not quite there as Navi going from 0 to 60 here in this top lane. We'll wait patiently for the next opportunity.
I really thought more people. Call was so good. Less tanky here than Tidehunter surely would have died with Morphling, and he did eventually get the Morph off, but just too much damage at that point. Great call there by Ramses. And now they'll start poking high ground.
V-Tune's right back here again. Pops that Manta. Ghostic trying to draw some of this attention away, but the fortification is going to come out from the side of
Dire's
Unique.
structures are fortified.
They can slow this down a bit. They have Shard on A, so all these creeps are taking damage, as are the heroes that are pushing. Tune gets Ice Blasted as well, so any damage dealt to him now is going to be pretty limiting. He doesn't want to get his ulti popped, but if they can get the tower, it looks like.
Looks like they will end up popping the ultimate. The leap forward, though, coming out from Iceberg. The follow-up here from Ramsey. Bignum, he was trying. Ravage is going to get tossed out as well. But it looks like Effet not looking too healthy here. He will indeed fall. Bignum being chased after by Ramses, and this Tidehunter still has that silence on him. Dump comes out from Ramses. He'll clean up again on Bignum, and Navi's going a little bit deep here. They'll try to go get the taunt off here over onto the Ancient Apparition, but should be able to escape as they pop the Moonlight Shadow, and they went pretty far on that dive. Do they go back in? Ooh, the Ice Blast?
No, he's got too much HP.
Look at this. V-Tune just running right back in again. He's healed up a bit. Scott Marana.
Radiant's top barracks.
And they're just going to finish up this top lane.
Radiant's top barracks are under attack.
Now it's even easier. They've got Blink Dagger on Wraith King. In case anybody steps up, they're going to jump in. If they get an arrow follow-up on this, really scary.
Radiant's
Especially on
middle
these
tower
supports.
is under
A's got to be
attack.
really careful here.
Continuing to throw out flares. Vortex, Ramses, though, sitting on the low ground, trying to wait for that perfect opportunity. They're smoked up, goes forward, doesn't quite manage to go and grab Palantimos this time around, but the arrow does connect. But over on the side, Palantimos, he's just erased. They finally take down Ramses. Iceberg, that is going to be the Aegis. Big them over on the back line here. V-Tune's just too powerful when he's got the power of always want to fly behind him. And now, Iceberg doesn't need to get out of here in a jiffy. I don't think he's going to be able to do it. The Winter's Curse, though, dragging over. Can Iceberg survive? Can he get up any leaps? Does he have anything here? No, he will indeed fall. As the Soulbind is up over on the side here. But Navi, they're just going to continue. Put some damage here. Stroke of Fate not quite connecting over onto Slayer. V2, he really just wants to finish this up. Realizing there is no Morphling alive for this fight. Oh, FN, oh, the jump forward over here onto Roger. They got alright, they'll be able to take down Roger on his way out.
Oh, Witchblade didn't save him. Weird. Okay. Great.
Sassy Purge.
Glimmer Cape would have been nicer. It's okay. It's kind of a fun build, and I think they're... But ultimately, lots of buildings got taken. Net worth advantage continues. I mean, they got some kills back. That was really, really good for Unique considering, but their buildings are going to feel a little sad. They don't have as used to. But a lot of big kills. the axe kill. Ramses didn't pop BKB after going in and making the mistake. He should have popped it, but the Tombstone killed him. Mirana just ran out of leap charges, eventually got worked down after going a little aggressive, trying to kill her. So basically just a little bit overextension from the Navi side. They get punished, and it's going to delay the game a bit, but their network advantage is still so healthy right now. It's not a huge deal.
Incoming! Then you look at the net worth going over to the side of Navi. All three of their cores sitting very, very tightly. Yeah, look at this. Ramsey's just a little bit short. The arrow does connect. And that's why Iceberg dove in so deep. He wanted that kill on Palantimos.
Oh, he got the Mirana kill. Okay, gotcha. Or the Morphling kill. I see.
He wanted it.
That was worth it. But then he respawns. He doesn't have BKB. He doesn't have bleeding charges. That was a dangerous.
My life.
Oh,
In the live game, always be a support there.
You always want to fly in a very dangerous place to be. Not sure if they smoked up for that, but does indeed fall here. So Grimstroke gonna take a little time out. As Unique trying to reclaim their jungle. They do need to get home though. There are creeps marching into their base.
Yeah, they will have to defend, but they'll get their shrine back temporarily. Killing Grimstroke is a pretty big deal. It's a lot of the team fight lockdown, annoying stuff that Navi wants to do. Full follow-up as well. I mean, that's the best thing about Grimstroke in a lot of ways is that it turns any initiator that has a stun, which is a lot of heroes, into 2 stuns.
D-Tune's like, come back here, Slayer! And then just throw the Wraithfire Blast and then back off. Ice Blast is now down though.
I'm dead voice line from Zai right there. That's what I would have pressed. But there's no way to look here. But luckily the V-Tune is playing safe. He didn't want to get caught so far away from his team.
He's showing remarkable restraint this time, considering that dive in the mid lane where it was just him and 5 heroes.
Hey, V-Tune is okay. That time, all right. I was gonna defend V-Tune for diving. That one time, yes, he dove crazy deep, but every other time it was his team. Not
That is true. That is true. A little bit of that overextension, but they're still sitting very pretty. 21k net worth lead at 36 minutes in. We still have the cheese online for the Mirana. And again, it just feels like... I feel like Navi is really making Unique just respond to every single move that they're doing, and Unique has not been allowed to play their own game, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I definitely agree with stuff like that. You can maybe argue that Unique could have done a better job trying to like invade, because it's not like Navi did not play very fast, basically. They won their lanes convincingly. They won like almost all of their lanes. And then they just sat back and hit neutrals at a really high speed. Obviously, Axe killed his stacks a lot earlier than normal. I mean, that was like, he cleared the large camp, then he cleared the Ancients and stacked it. And then the stacked Ancient camp is what gave him his neutrals. That was just after the 7-minute mark. That was abnormally fast to have that many stacks cleared. And so once they like missed that timing, it felt like Unique was scared or unable to get pressure on the map. So maybe criticize them for that, but they didn't do enough there, but get enough kills in that period of the time. But I'm sure clock wasn't even 6 at that point, right? Like, it's difficult to find grabs otherwise until he gets 6, or until Tiny gets Blink. So that was maybe one of the issues with their lineup. It was just straight up not fast enough. They needed to be able to get a lot of good stuff done before 10 minutes, and they didn't do that to stabilize their lanes. So either win the lanes harder or have better heroes to rotate in that pre-10 minute to slow down what Navi did this game.
This is nice here. Iceberg has found himself the ninja gear. Have even better positioning, better scouting capabilities. And of course the extra Agi's pretty nice too.
It is actually, yeah. They gave him a lot of armor he was missing, actually. 20 now. The movement speed is nice too. Mirana's base movement is one of the things that has to happen when you have leap charges. So he'll be happy with that. Who gets the cooldown? Oh, I thought it was Roger. Sorry, it's on Ramses. Spell Prism on Axe. Lots of calls.
V-Tune walking into Ghost Stick here. The blink forward, expecting to find someone else. Signal. There's that flare. Look at positioning. The Ravage immediately gonna blow up. And now the follow-up here from Ramses immediately holding into place. They're gonna try to keep Iceberg alive over on the back line. FN, he's taking so much, but they already taken down Iceberg. And always want to fly falling as well. Over on the back lines here, Palantimos, he's just chunking away over here at V2. As Ramses is forced to run away and eventually does indeed fall. So the cows up here from Bignum. Palantimos waiting patiently. Will be able to take down V2's first life. He's coming back up again. Roger slow position, doesn't have that Witcher's Curse. Needs to put out a little bit more damage, and he's just trying to do anything he can to Palantimos here. Isn't able to even get the kill over Big Nim. It's getting to, oh no! Palantimos gets himself a double kill as he takes out B2, and he's looking for another kill.
What a fight for Unique. That ward on the high ground. Just Navi way too confident in what they're going for. I do want everybody to know that Roger cleaned up the Tiny because he had Witchblade on the back lane. That's all everybody needs to know. But other than that, amazing fight for Team Unique there. The Ravage was perfect. The target acquisition was excellent. They got the Mirana with the Ice Blast combo. They cogged him afterwards to delay the BKB from coming out. The Ravage, they had the Sentry on the high ground too. They called Axe, which actually wasn't that useful because he just BKB'd and Spider-Legged ran away. The counter initiation didn't come up with the one. He pulled the brace to buy some time, but that was not quite what they needed, unfortunately. And then they just cleaned up Ramses afterwards. His survivability was just not quite enough. If Navi doesn't like start bursting down heroes, it just looks like a bad place to fight for them.
I thought for sure Big Nim was gonna tick down to that Radiance burn. Like, look how close he sits there. Oh, but no, he's a lucky little clockwork. He's gonna survive it. But this is
a second away.
This is what I wanted to see from Unique, right? Because it feels like Navi just keep jumping on them each time, and they have to react when they don't have that opportunity. When Unique can be the ones to jump in, it makes a huge amount of difference, like we just saw.
It does. They don't have like super overwhelming damage. They've gone for a little bit of these funky items, and man, the network disadvantage is so much less now. That was a big deal. There's a Endless on Morphling. This gave them space to pick up tier 4 items on neutrals. That's something they didn't have in the last fight either. This is it's not like they can still win on the Navi side, and they have great itemization still, but
makes it closer.
Looks a little scary. It does. I mean, there's a freaking Dragonline somewhere. I haven't forgot.
Yeah, Roger has decided that he would like to be the core this time around, and will be taking over the game. Please and thank you.
He gets raw HP from this, and the extra attack range is good and all, but yeah, he can sit farther back to contribute to fights, but it's pretty goofy, all right. Number one thing, Iceberg cannot get stunned through BKB, basically. So a really big deal. He cannot get comboed as easily as he did in the last fight. Wraith King doesn't care about getting focused or bursted much. He's got a Ballista Blade now on Wraith King, so getting these pickoffs should be a lot easier. And this is one of the upsides towards Unique being ahead now, or at least much closer than they were. They're going to play on the map aggressively, and that's going to give them opportunities to get pickoffs. So while it might look a little scary for Navi now, with Unique putting map pressure on the map, there's opportunity to get kills and pickoffs with his Abyssal Blade, with Axe Call into Arrow, with Witchblade ganks. There's lots of options.
All right, well, it looks like we're almost ready to start up the match again. What did he pick up?
Dual Scythe of Ice.
Casual, nice.
Yeah, on that.
Is he going to be able to be close? Like, I understand why you pick up this item, but with an Ancient Apparition, I feel like you don't want to be anywhere near any of these guys because you're just going to get blown up, right?
800 cast range. It'll be fine. If he can, and that it's cool to have it on A, basically. I mean, it's kind of similar to Rod of Atos. It's like a common item that people would want to buy an egg. Oh, I'm guaranteeing my setup, right? Hex will be able to do the same thing. Hex the guy, it's either going to be Mirana when he jumps in, when he doesn't anticipate a BK, like at the need to press BKB, and then you can land combo on. You don't have to worry about Tide to go first, and they really do have kind of weak stun setup, right? Like Blink Ravage was the best one they had. It's either that or Hook Shot. That's how they initiate, or Tiny combos. But those are Tiny combos, something a little bit. It's so high damage, you don't necessarily want to always be the initiator unless it's a good twist. So if Slayer just sits back a little bit and hexes Mirana and they kill him again at the start of the fight, it's pretty huge. And he can one-shot illusions. That's the other cool thing. Yeah, and he's going to use it for that. One-shotting Axe illusions as he's split foot.
Yeah, it's definitely value. These illusions feel very uncomfortable to have to deal with. So they're going to try to sweep through their own jungle, make sure that they can push out any invaders. The hook shot, though, immediately over onto the Brawl, the follow-up with the Ravage. So always want to fly. We'll just get obliterated here. Witch's Curse does get dropped by Roger, should be able to just teleport out.
Always want to fight, very possibly saving Mirana's life there. When you force staff after a clock initiation, it makes the follow-up cog, stun, and push more difficult. Instead, he gets trapped inside the cogs instead of pushed backwards. He doesn't get stunned immediately afterwards, and they don't have an option to follow-up disable him. Oh, that's going to be a dead A. He was dewarding. Iceberg was able to just... I think he had ninja gear, that's why
he does have ninja gear, yes. Definitely does. The arrow tossed out here by Palantimos. Leap forward, though, just brushing the tail.
Okay. All right, 20 seconds till...
That is the reveal of the Abyssal. The arrow, nope, they've got the BKB, but they have the bash as Ramses goes in for the call, gets a couple of these spins, and dumps FN.
What's happened?
All right, there's the pick they needed. Now they're going. Time to go high ground. Take this advantage. There's a DD rune as well. Really good for Iceberg here.
Do a buyback on the Tiny if they want to bring him up, but they don't have the Ravage available.
Waveform charges on Palantimos now, so you can jump in and out. Waveform attacks targets as well. He is a big damage monster. Push out these lanes still. That's going to buy them some time. B2 to go high ground with Illusions.
Ramses ups up the battle hunger.
As well.
Still smoked up using that ninja gear. Asking to get better positioning. They have to be so careful in the way that they want to move. Nice gush here. We'll be able to just clean up some of these creeps, but they still want to go in. A couple arrows getting tossed. There's water being sloshed everywhere coming up from the side of Unique.
It's so much harder for them to high ground now. Like, this Tide Axe is incredible. Like, it does. He got the Tide. He got all the gush
Radiant's bottom tower
bonus
is
damage,
under
380
attack.
magic damage. 80 is -4 gush armor, so it's doing -11 armor, and he has Timeless Relic, so the duration lasts even longer. For 5 seconds instead of 4. That's a big disadvantage when you're trying to siege high ground slowly. So losing that fight, although Navi is still gaining some net worth advantage, and they're probably going to play for the next Roche. This is not how they expected this game to go. They thought that was going to be over like 10 minutes ago, but that one catastrophic fight where they were too confident, it's hurting them here.
Feels like they definitely need some sort of a... Either they need an Aegis or they need a pick-off on Ghost Stick, it sounds like. Because he seems to be the primary form of pushing out these waves and causing them problems to go high ground.
It would help, certainly. They're definitely building towards, like, sieging. Navi's building towards sieging casually and safely with all the mantas. And they're also building for pickoffs. So that's what they need. Their casual sieging is basically over now because of this Tide Axe. So yeah, absolutely, that's what they need. They need to pick off heroes. That's the only way that they're going to be able to go high ground confidently. Or Aegis, I guess. So either delay the game or get pick off.
The Aegis that gets reclaimed. And the double damage rune. Getting popped here by Iceberg. Not looking to engage, just going to go and farm up. As I say that, they're looking to engage.
Ramses is so farmed. He's got 490 last hits on Axe. It is bonkers. He's got 2 sets of armor, BKB, Blink, man. Let's see if they spot him. Ghost Stick pushing things out safely. They don't want to show. They don't want to give them the call arrow.
Palantimos will reveal himself over in that mid lane. Damage runes. Got a bit of duration left here on the Marana, but no one's home in the side of the Radiant jungle, so... Navi gonna just set up base camp for now as the smoke comes out from Unique. I think they know where they are. I'm guessing they're gonna try to hunt through, see what they can find. Yeah, they do have the wards, so they have vision. Signal leading the charge.
And it's off!
Is that a flare? Jivas, the silence immediately being tossed out. They get the soul bite off. B2's left behind as Palantimos just chases down, always want to fly. Wants to get rid of Ramses, though cowling 3 over on the back line here with that BKB. We'll hold them in place a little bit longer. As there it is, the Ravage coming out from Ghost Stick. Finally, he's held on to occasionally. They're going to turn right back around again. They'll be able to take down Iceberg. Ramses, another call here. B2's coming up with the second life. There's the Witcher's Curse coming out from Roger. They're going to try to chip down as much as they can. Over here on the side, they'll be able to take down FN. They're still hunting here. Palantimos, he wants his kill on Ramses, though. The Inkswell does land over onto 2. Arrows get tossed down. They don't quite connect. So they'll follow up. There it is. Can they take down Palantimos? They've got the taunt. That will be a dead Palantimos. They'll get Ghost Stick. And Navi are just running down this bottom area. Slayer's going to try to teleport out. He's going to be able to do it just in the nick of time. They have the buyback.
Almost everybody bought back there. Morphling's still available, but holding some time doesn't quite work.
Quick shot over onto the back line. To the toss but to the air. Plus the Ice Flash should be able to take down Iceberg. Gosh, coming in over on the back line. B2 has left the Ramses gets the call up over onto Big Them, but the Strike King is all alone. He's hexed up. He needs his team. He needs help. He's gonna try to fight through, try to get some of his life. If he's not gonna be able to do it, B2 will fall.
for that.
Okay, die back on Milana. Wraith King dying for the first time, still has his buyback
Radiant's
available.
middle
Great
tower is
fight
under
for
attack.
Unique. They make it work, and this is the scary thing. Their opponents went conventional item builds. Wraith King is falling off here because he bought Manta and Scotty. So, little scary for Navi. Roaches could respawn in 13 seconds. We'll see when it's up.
Look at that
Here's that
headshot.
initiation.
Don't mind if I do.
Double
It's a good play here coming out from Bignum, just being able to initiate and then separate them. Because it leaves V2, now he's all alone. He doesn't have any help.
Are scanning.
And they had enough heroes to actually
Dire's
burst them
middle
down.
tower is under
Yeah,
attack.
that separation is so important. Clockwork. Absolutely worth his death there.
Dire's
Really
middle
nice he had
tower
Axe too,
has
gave him the
fallen.
double initiation. It's now still trying to
Dire's
push
middle
things,
tower
but
is under
you
attack.
cross the map here. A lot of dead heroes, and they know that Wraith King's not going to want to buy back. They love to force him, but in the same period, Ramsey's done a great job still pushing up bottom and mid. He cuts the creep wave, so that'll slow things down. No buyback needed from Wraith King, but this does give Unique a nice moment to get some net worth. Roach is going to be respawning a long ways from now, though, so that will not be the impact yet.
Did I see it? Are we getting a BKB delivered here to Mr. Palentinos? Yes, we are.
Yep.
It'd be
Buyback
even
for him.
more difficult. Look at this. Look at this. He's got himself a BKB. He's got a Satanic, and then he's got a Minotaur horn on top of everything else.
He's hard to kill now. His right click damage is way better. But at this point, yeah, he just picked up a magic resistance talent at 10 as well. That's actually going to help a lot. Outside of his BKB, magic damage is going to do significant less. The lanes get pushed out safely. This Vortex plus Gush combo is so good. So safe.
I believe a Refresher Orb was also picked up for the Tide Hunter as well.
Let's go.
They're looking for a play. Bignum, of course, leading the hunt. Go for the Moonlight Shadow.
Radiant are
Briefly, I
scanning.
think.
Yep. Pops the smoke. Bignum has to be a little careful here. B2 jumping in immediately. Icebot's getting tossed over to the side, though. They go in. They have that first Ravage. They have the detection. They see Roger over here. Palentinos just wants to get rid of Roger. It's going to be held in place, though, with that Soulbind. They'll be able to take down Roger. Double Silence coming out. B2, he's got the double Abyssal. Can they get out enough damage? That's the question. He's going for the call over here on the side, and there it is. There's the second Ravage. And Oven right back out again. So they'll take down Ramses. And up comes V2 to always want to fly, running for his life. There's just no one here to save Ram. He's just, V2's dead. The whole board here again. And it looks like Iceberg just gets cleaned up. Roger can only do as much as he can here. Might be able to take him. No, he does. The Winter's Curse from Roger. Able to take down FN. Oh, he's gonna pay for that if he's not careful. He's got the blink though, waveforming again forward. This is gonna be a dead Roger. Eventually.
Yeah, there's no solution here. He does not have a defensive item, and he buys out a little bit. He had buyback used anyways, so he'll have eggs up soon. But so basically everybody just died, and this is actually a really interesting situation because both teams had fought back in the previous
Radiant's
fight
carrier
heavily.
has been
Palentinos is going to be able to take Roche by himself, but basically what's going to happen is everyone's going to respawn. They're going to probably all wait a little bit until their buybacks come back, so we're just going to have a full reset, most likely. And now the net worth is even. Game still looks amazing for Unique, though. Especially
The courier? The courier eats well? Pew! Oh man, always want to fly. He's trying everything here. They're just gonna send over another. Trying to steal it. They're just gonna click everywhere. They're hoping. Okay, that's gonna be the courier down. Players here.
Look at them all.
They want it. That's what this game. Oh my god. Alright, always want to fly is dead.
Truly,
This is so funny.
Because they don't get vision anymore. They're just clicking everywhere. They're like, okay, is the Roche dead?
Anyone's
Is it dead yet? Can we get it?
So much gold from these
Here we go.
players.
Here we go. They're just clicking all over the ground. Nope, nope, not yet. There's no items yet. This is so ridiculous. How many couriers are we gonna lose during this? Oh, can I steal anything? Nothing.
Okay.
Nothing.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
I haven't seen that game. The fact that it was just one hero and basically like 4 couriers swarming around him was that was all right. Age gets picked up. They Ag's Blessing. Who's that go to? AA, I guess.
I guess.
Who else needs
Radiant's
one?
middle
This clock
tower
already has
is
one.
under attack.
Oh
Radiant's
wow, this is
middle
going on though.
tower
There is some damage going down in the base.
Oh, the AoE cold feet. That's a good talent.
The prize
Here's
is
the
mine.
start of that fight again. I thought it was going to go really bad for Unique. Clock got separated. The Ravage felt bad. Just started them off on the Winter Wyvern, which is okay, but not incredible. And then the great sounds from Always Want to Fly after the refresher here was so good. Delays the second Ravage. They jump in. Bijun trying to get DPS in. Ramses tries to get a kill on Morphling, but he's really tanky here. And then that Gush just cleaned up everybody. So from there, yeah, it was just... we're basically seeing the effects of Wraith King's itemization. His itemization was built to hit this really good timing, to make Morphling limited, to make pushing easier, to make sieging easier. But because they lost that fight with their big net worth advantage, now going high ground, and Ty got that Ags, it just made going high ground so much harder. And now Wraith King's like really wishing he had different items. Not that, but I mean, ultimately the mistake was that they had a bad team fight. But you know, he'd really love to have more potential items right now so that he can pick off some of these other heroes a little bit easier.
I feel like they're having some damage issues on the side of Navi. I mean, Iceberg, he's got damage too, but like he's just immediately shredded in these fights, especially if he gets initiated on, because Bigum, that's what he's been looking for during the entire time. He's like, okay, I just need to hook shot onto the Marana. I know my Tiny will back me up. We'll get her out of the fight, and then all of a sudden, you know, it's 4v5. And they got some big tanky bruisers over on the side of Unique now.
It's hard, and this is likely why Roger built the itemization he did, because they knew that they were going to have some solo, some damage issues, so he built to have more right click. But they just lost too many fights here. Percentage-based damage is good against Morphling, and they still have that, especially with Ags now. He's always going to have it, but it's still only doing 9% of current, and Morphling with Satanic is not going to have about that damage too much. So, no Spirit Vessel, and he's got all these like magic immunities anyways. 2 cheeses past a Clockwork, sell them, and just don't tell anybody. Like, oh yeah, use them in the fight. You get that Daedalus Clockwork? Oh, I don't know.
I just found it in the woods, you know? I've been doing some good stuff here. I don't know, man. The way that Bignum has been playing, though, like, it's just so value having all that extra regen on him. Bottom lane. Casual Ice Blast, just trying to get rid of some of these Axe solutions. Do you have an Overwhelming Blink picked up now for Ramses?
Okay. It's a good one. Not built very often. Like, it's pretty rare that you get late in the game like this where somebody justifies buying it. Almost every hero that buys those blink upgrades is always carries, because they want their right clickers and their item slot limited. But Ramsey's been farming like a carry all game. His last hits are insane. He's got the most in the game, 596. So hell, buy it.
Treat yourself.
Slow attack speed and movement speed by 50% for 6 seconds. That's a really long time. Obviously, people are going to have BKBs that'll remove it or prevent it from affecting him, but it's a great way to nuke as well.
Ramsey's hiding on the side. Knows that Slayer's here.
Push is like insane now. Cold Feet with Ice Vortex damage, it's so good. And they just can't see where AA is. The cast range is so long on these abilities that you just don't get to know where your opponents are split pushing from. Blink and Aeon Disc, the perfect items on A so far. Just got to keep lanes pushed out. That's the only good thing going for Navi right now. They've already got 2 sets of racks, so they don't have to put as much effort into split pushing these side lanes, but Unique is collapsing the bot lane, and this is the one that matters at least a little bit. They can offset their rack's disadvantage here. It'll make it easier for them to have space on the map. They still got Aegis, so see what Navi can do to slow this down, but I'm not super confident.
They're just trying to mirror a little bit. They've got that Axe Illusion just pushing through on these lanes. An Iceberg is standing nearby. And Unique is grouped up pretty tightly here as they're sweeping through. They do have to go and consider these lanes. Rocket Flare to try to help push it.
It's Unique is a little scared to go high ground as well without...
Passes off the Minotaur Horn. What do we have on Palantino's? He's got the spider legs. A little bit more mobility.
Well, it's all about basically not having to use a slot for boots anymore. Very common for fairies in the ultra late game to do this. It's like, oh, now I can actually be 6-slotted without the detriment of so it's worth it over... You're basically trading a neutral item for a regular item, and when you have infinite gold, basically, absolutely worth it.
Oh, no.
That was a big snipe back. He bought out for that, by the way. He's 600 gold from buyback. Pretty greedy, I guess, to run it straight there. Because their opponent's
okay, overwhelming blink, but jump forward. They're waiting patiently, and they want this kill. The Ravage comes out, but they still manage to take down Ghost Stick. Down for 90-something seconds, no buyback. The patience of NAVI has paid off, but again, they ended up losing that Ag's blessing for the Wraith King.
So I think Berserker's Call is not dispellable. Yeah, it can't be dispelled. So that's that nice counter against the Tide here in this late game. Any other Chainstone wasn't going to work. Kraken Shell would proc it, but because Axe Call is different, it's like forcing them to attack you. It cannot be removed by Kraken Shell, so they're able to disable for that full duration, pick off the kill with some nice damage from my. I'd use BKB, but it's already at 6 anyways. No loss at all. Spurs got an item decision make soon. It's got just casual 7,000 gold here. Getting good, guys. We're definitely getting tier 5 items. Seeing some sick late game stuff. Everybody's got a lot of items.
And what do you think? What do you think we're gonna see?
On Marana? He's going Satanic, it looks like.
Oh my god, this is it. No. This is it. This is it, alright? Roger. He's gonna get that Ballista. It's gonna be the true carry in this game. They're just never gonna be able to get close enough to him.
Are scanning.
Make it happen.
I don't see that they don't get Ballista to Marana, though.
Boo, boring.
I know.
Boring.
But she attacks really fast anyway, so it'd be really...
They have the vision. Get the call off. Starstorm, and that's a dead Clockwork. There's a gem left over here on the ground. I'll pick that up. Ramses will be happy to take that off your hands.
Shiva's alright, they get some pickoffs, and that's one thing that Navi is definitely strong at. They still have good hero pickoffs. Get them. And now they get back control again.
They know exactly where the Marana is. This gang squad, though, really coming in handy. Iceberg perhaps staying just a little bit too long. He just gets hexed up. They've got the Glimmer. Gonna stand over to the side. Looks like he's gonna escape. Always want to fly using the Soulbind out. Nice arrow. Will hold them in place a little bit longer. And they're just allowed to. They go back in. Butcher's Curse immediately over on the side. And look at this FN. He can't fight these illusions. The call here from Ramses. Needs to get a couple of these spins. Can they finish off Ghost Stick in time? Leap forward here coming up from Iceberg. They do have the vision. As they'll be able to take down Ghost Stick. They take down Ramses though. They get the arrow off. They'll take down always one flying down team of able to walk away now from this engagement.
Okay, pretty even still. Decent fight back and forth. Net worth is evened up now with these last couple kills that Navi's been able to pick up. The Dark Portrait was actually such a headache there for Tiny. They just made Dark Portrait against Morphling is like one of the best things in the game because you are getting all of his base damage and it's multiplied by a factor of 50% extra. So it's literally stronger than Morphling is. And it just bullied on Tiny, beat him down to like 40% health. Also spell immune, by the way, so you have to kill it with physical damage. And by the way, because it has, 244 agility, it has a lot of armor.
Radiant's bottom
does it even take bonus damage? It does. It does take extra damage, but still, it's a lot to deal with. Buys them time. That scouts out Roshan. It's going to respawn at a relatively early time. 1/3 of the possible respawn time.
Very
this is going to give Wraith King his axe, fine.
Radiant's courier
Chase, here comes. There's the right click. That's the cheese. Should have sold it, Bignum.
He's got a little snack later.
Courier drive
Radiant's
by.
courier has been killed.
Iceberg spots
Radiant's
it.
bottom tower is under attack.
Get those items.
It's fine. It was just an Aeon. Clockwork would love to have it.
No, I'm talking about the neutral items, baby.
Oh, yeah. To the Ancients. All right, Wraith is good.
Give me them items.
Sure.
There's the axe. Finished up now.
He's not walking in Ancients. That means he's not going to spawn the items now. I guess he's worried about being caught.
That's fair.
As long as they kill them, their opponents can't get them right now. Somebody killed the damn Ancients there.
Stygian, okay.
Ooh, that's good. That's
what else we got?
Good. That's going to
Force boots. That's all right. It's all right.
So, well, yeah, give Force boots to Wraith King.
Ballista, okay. There we go, baby. Let's see it. Put it on the Wyvern.
Put it on Marana. But Marana's got Desolate. Okay, Marana is gonna... That's okay. Winter Wyvern will use the Desolator.
Fine. Let Roger have his fun, man.
Radiant's bottom tower is
that
under
range
attack.
with the Arctic burn? Like...
Alright, they changed their mind again. Desolator on Wraith King.
Okay.
Because it'll help him be a more conventional carry. 60 damage, minus 10 armor when you're attacking. That'll help. He's still damage limited, but it'll be fine. And then they put Force Boots on Axe, which is kind of weird because he's already got Boots of Travel level 2.
Yar, matey.
which I guess he can sell now. He's so rich. He's 10,000 gold.
Yeah, look at, we got the pirate hat on Winter Wyvern.
Oh, dude.
Let's do it. I'm down. I'm not even mad that he doesn't have the, oh, all right. We're switching them back and forth and around all over the place here.
That makes sense. Yeah. Backpack that ninja gear. Take those. Oh, he's got the blow stuff. They did it.
They did it. Yes.
This actually is better for sure. Mirana doesn't really need the attack stat badly because she's got leaps. But 150 attack speed on Mirana is really good because she does good damage. So like, this just makes way more sense. Anything for the Radiant side yet? They're just spawning now. Cleared them before.
Yeah, they sent over the Wraith King. They have a Fallen Sky. They got that earlier. It's Force Boots.
I'll get that to more.
Ramses, they're hunting. The arrow not connected to the fort. Oh my god, immediately there it is. Ramses, the jump forward. They have the demon. They just take out Ghost. It goes so quickly here. Altima's just nudged back. And the Roche is up.
Quick.
Those Force Boots, man.
The prize is
great.
Against Tide is just so good. Alright. They're getting some more items now. Tiny picks up a pirate hat.
They got the Nully online too for the axe. Yeah, into the pit for Navi. With that Tide Hunter being dead. He doesn't have buyback either, Purge.
Yeah, this has been hurting him a bit here. Bought out that Aeon Disc, but I think he bought Aeon Disc to try to solve the solution against the call, but the problem is that it just doesn't work. Free Ags for somebody who's gonna get it. Looks like Axe, I guess. It's not bad on Mirana. This does right now. God, I love theory crafting right now. Happy we're watching this beautiful game. All right, so basically they can buy whatever they want. Ramses has been in this situation many times, not necessarily as an offlane hero. But yeah, he's very farm better.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Radiant structures are fortified.
Look at the swagger over here on V2. Like the rest of the team, you know, they're fairly nearby, but they're still a bit spread out. He's just like, yeah, no problem.
So much money. He's got 6,000 gold. He just
smoked out.
Can't really spend.
V2 just pulling out the Wraith Fire Blast here. Rest of the team waiting very patiently from behind. Palatine was just shoot, get off my lawn.
All they need to do is kill this last barracks and then win a team fight convincingly. That's it.
Make it sound so easy. Oh, the Winter's Curse coming out from Roger. He's trying to get into position, into the arrow. Do they dare go close enough, though? They have to be so careful because Ghostic has several ravages. That Ice Blast and Vortex. Very, very spooky.
I mean, it was nice, but...
Sorry, it'll be back up soon, I'm sure.
Allies.
Clockwork. Big. Anyone else? Anyone else? Not. Oh, two non-diggers. Two people not digging in this game right now. There we go. Big Num Doug finally. Iceberg, please.
You're triggering Purge. Please, Iceberg. Not like this.
Seer Stone. Pretty decent. I don't think A will be unhappy about that one.
No. They also completed himself a refresher, too. Everybody's just loaded right now. His pockets are full.
Huge now.
These Axe Illusions aren't doing quite as much as they used to.
For lack of items. It's all going to come down to getting pickoffs here, basically. Be the big one. Refresher Shard is on Wyvern. I think who else has one? Do they still have? No, A has used his, but he does have a Refresher Orb instead. Just normal stuff, you know?
All right. They're smoked up on the side of Unique. They're looking for some wrapping action, possibly. You have to be careful, though. They do have these Axe Illusions. Creeping over. Ramses immediately. Smoke pops. Jump forward from B-Tune. He doesn't quite get his hands over onto FN as he is hexed up immediately. The toss here, trying to save player. Get right back into their base.
You put sentries down so you didn't have boots this way. Toss like 200 units. He's like, you really need this right now, dude. Morphling not going on.
Nice arrow. Is it going to do anything beyond that, though? Both teams just so hesitant.
Yeah.
You have the portrait of the Morphling for a moment there. With the arrow. Constantly trying to get vision, trying to get information here on the side of Navi to get into the base. But Unique's making it very difficult for them to find that proper initiation.
It's hard. They're a little bit scared. They don't want to get caught. I mean, the Axe Call is actually such an amazing solution, honestly. The fact that it goes through Tide Kraken Shell just means that they have gank options. And, you know, if they get crazier, they can even buy something like a Refresher Orb. That's what we used to see that back really with us. Berserker's Call and Axe at this really, I think that was maybe like DAC or something like that. They just call twice in a row, and it's like, how do you stop 6 seconds of disabled? Like,
Our Observer has also triggered the fact that we are not seeing that pirate hat get used. Get that booty.
This needs to be buffed. Maybe it needs like flash.
I'll think about that. No. Oh, there we go. There we go.
150 gold each. That'd be good. Grimstroke moving out on. Alright, the turtling continues. Not much change. Morphling has buttloads of money. He doesn't have a Moonshard yet. He hasn't eaten an Ags yet either. He may be saving his abundance of gold for a moment where he could buy back 7 minutes later, kind of a thing, buy back. But, I mean, ultimately it's going to take Navi going high ground. But the tough thing is that, like, realistically, like, net worth is starting not to matter anymore. Like, for the supports, it's kind of nice, but realistically, Axe has to keep pushing out these lanes with illusions. King has to keep pushing out these lanes, so the net worth is not going to go to the supports.
Oh, Ramsey's a little bit off the mark. Does manage to find out that he's got the BKB, but they follow up. Can they blow him up in time? Big ol' ice blast coming in. The arrow. Oh, the big soulbound leaped up together. Iceberg tries to jump on the back line. Ghostic following up with a ravage, as they'll get a nice Winter's Curse off. Look at this damage. It pops the Aeon disc on both of these heroes. As you see Clockwork on the back line, but the Nullifier coming in. They're just pushing away the Tide. Ghostic will go down. He does have 5 actually. Forthel tail Palativos as well. And these guys with the jump in from Ramses. You can't protect yourself with those. Buyback now from the Clockwork. This Dark Portrait just chasing down poor Slayer. Prox's Aeon disc. He's just pushing everybody away right now as V-Team's just smacking off here on the side.
Got vision of the area. Iceberg tried to dig and he got interrupted by Cold Feet. Probably the biggest thing that happened in that fight.
The buybacks are coming out in mass now for the side of Unique. That arrow does connect off to the side. Ice Blast tossed out. Ramses and Iceberg will eat it to the face. Ooh, the sidestep away from the Clockwork Hushak there.
That was kind of cool, actually. The gem that was still on the ground there, I believe, gave vision, which is why they went for that Ice Blast shot combo. But perfect fight for Navi. They got no buybacks wasted on their side. The enemy team did. They just got to win one more fight and it's over. If they kill Morphling, if they kill Tide, that'll be it.
Alright. This Gush, though. Just keep sending in the illusions, boys. They do have some nice solutions here coming up from the side of Unique to push them off. Look at V2, he creeps forward a little bit. Alright, boys, get in there. Serve your king. Lots of trees getting tossed out. Other arrows tossing in. Sidestepping around. They've got the Dark Portrait, though. Look at this. This illusion game is actually so ridiculous here. So they do throw out the Avalanche. They'll get the Hex off as well. Can they burst down? No, not quite. Ice Blast, though, coming in. Be able to take down the first light, but FND went a little bit too far. Ramsey's jumping out to the back lines. And Palativos, though, he's just trying to burst down over on the side. He's not going to be able to quite do it. The BKB coming out. Iceberg needs to be careful. He can't afford to take all this damage. He's just obliterated here. But they have that race. The King Ags as V2. He's got the stuns up. Can they take it? Palativos, yes, they can. That is a dead Morphling, and they're looking to chase after Ghostic now. Get this kill. Go pressure on the back lines. Nullifier comes out. That's a dead Ghostic. And FN is just trying to run away. He's getting nudged away here by the Winter Wyvern. Roger, he wants his kill. Since chase him right into there. And eventually, though, FN will survive. The GGs get called.
All right. Big time relief for Navi there, but they won that fight bottom. They found the Tiny in the trees that gave them a good initiation. Too many players on Unique ended up getting killed and had a buyback, and then Navi won the next fight.
thanks to Mantas and Radiances and all sorts of things. And then it got a little weird, it got a little complicated, and ended up going the full distance. Now, gentlemen, I know you guys have some complaints, so let's start with, what do you guys think went right on either side? Who stood out? Who did a good job?
Couple of players on Navi's definitely stood out. I think Always Want to Fly, great item build. I love that he goes for these just like straight up items. His Force Staff, his Glimmers, he gets the Ags for the Inkswell, for the Dark Portrait in particular versus the Morphling. Great stuff. Ramses playing the win too. Loved his build for the Nullifier toward the end. Roger's build, I don't know. I'm so confused what he was doing this game. They don't need damage. He's going damage. I feel like he could have done so many different routes with his build, going for like Force Staff to save Iceberg a lot of times. Iceberg's positioning a couple fights too, just playing recklessly up forward, setting them up for these Ice Blasts. I think Navi just, I don't know, it looked like they were kind of goofing around a little bit and almost ends up losing the game because of it.
I think their vision early game was actually good. Like, it looked like they were farming a bit too much, but if you really look at the lineup of Unique, it thrived entirely on who shows on creep waves, Clockwork, AA, Tiny kills you. And they're like, oh, let's just put a bunch of Manta Illusions down waves. And it gave them a massive advantage. And that made sense to me. And they just straight up disrespected them after that. Like, after that, there's like, Like, the thing I have about this series is we talked to VP, for instance, and they were talking about how all the things that they were doing were experimental and, like, you know, they were trying to get good practice for the major. I look at these builds and playstyle from Na'Vi moving forward throughout the game. Who do you think you are? You're like 3-2 in this freaking group, and you got crushed. Like, I understand you individuals.
So you're saying Save could have done that. Save could have gone Roger's build on Winter Wyvern and said, I was trying out a damage-based build on Winter Wyvern. That would have been acceptable for you.
I mean, I would still say objectively it's incorrect, like, after seeing it. But, like, dude, like, show us you can actually beat people.
Also, it's like,
you're 3-2. Like, you got crushed by VP and Team Spirit, dude.
Yeah, and I don't get the purpose. Like, they're so far ahead, right? If you want to go for these like damage items on a Wyvern, you get the Orchid. Why are you going Lance and Witchblade?
His build is legit the worst build.
I'm just not a fan at all of it. It's like they actually set themselves up to lose this game. Unique, they got almost all the Roshans. Like, when you're this far ahead as Na'Vi, you're supposed to be the one securing the map, securing objectives. You put yourself in a very dangerous position. You saw Iceberg at the end of the game there. He was like talking like crazy, scratching his forehead. Like, he was super stressed.
I got one last comment.
Yes.
The only best part about his Winter Wyvern build was that he threw the game for long enough to get that Ballista.
Well, as you can tell, there's a whole lot of negativity on this panel. Fortunately, when I need some optimism in my life, I turn to the fun and enjoyable person of T. Governor, who's right over here with a breakdown of the game.
Early smoke action, you get a kill onto Bignum, they see the ward getting placed, leads to a D ward, you know, good start for Na'Vi. You know, fast forward a little bit, Slayer dying top lane, all the lanes are going so well for Na'Vi, and this is probably right now the communication in the team, they're just kind of giggling to each other, haha, Slayer died top, you got probably Iceberg giggling, I'm leaping for the water runes, I'm having all the fun, he also goes for the bot one, getting denied by Roger. Like, it's such a beautiful start in the first 2 to 3 minutes, that it gives him this confidence. And Tiny, he had no game mid. He was already getting forced out. He had to run back to base soon after. They even fortifying the wave to annoy him. Like, it is like, the start of this game is Na'Vi just trying to start on them and the confidence that they're putting. FN, he tries to go for some rotations, doesn't feel good. Catching up with a little bit of jungle farm. And he kills. Once again, this is the story of the game. It is overconfidence. Look at this positioning from Iceberg. He just dies to a blink rotation. And this is kind of predicting how the game is going to kind of get turned on its head. And I think the main talking point is how here, Unique, they do get a kill on Ramses, but they don't care. If Ramses dies, you've got Roger, the Witchblade buyer in the top lane. You've got Wraith King farming the Tri-Camp. Like, this move, again, Na'Vi doesn't really care about any of these plays being made by Unique. And it does eventually lead into a quick tower and a Roshan, so Unique are going to feel pretty good, they get this. But this is where it unfolds for Unique, this is where their comeback is meant to be looking good, but positioning simply, you cannot win fights when you're missing 2 heroes and you're playing with an Aegis. This is just not advantageous. And it gives Na'Vi such an incredible lead, and again here, this is why Na'Vi feels so confident, because they're playing up against a carry who, unfortunately, he waveforms into, into an arrow and dies. So this is kind of kind of building up the idea of over-aggression, overconfidence, which eventually leads into the big thing, which the panel absolutely despised, was the fact that you have Roger literally being kind of worse than a creep in this game, putting it bluntly, because Iceberg, he dies pretty quickly. He dies. Guess what? You don't have a Force Staff, don't have a Glimmer, you got nothing. Guess what you do have? You have a Witchblade. Probably he didn't talk about it until into the mid-game. And yeah, this fight just kind of picks him apart. There you go, here you go. We can zoom in on the inventory if you'd like. This is bad, this is bad, this is okay, this is bad. Casual. So it's just so terrible from Roger. They are lucky to win this game. It honestly upsets me at this item build. I like the panel as well. Saving grace though, final piece, bit of the pudding. Ghostic dies. Ghostic dies. Ghostic dies. Navi then come back into the game and win. So over round, bit of a shoddy game. Roger, terrible build. Ghostic, unfortunately positioning, but Unique had some good signs of life.
Yep. My word.
Jeez.
Okay.
No, and
Thanks for the positivity, everybody. Good work today. Navi won, by the way. Woo! Navi! They might be going to the major. Apparently it wasn't the performance that we were hoping out of them. After all, they are supposed to be a top-tier team, and they almost lost the game to Unique. Unique putting up a strong fight. Let's see if they could do it again going into Game 2 right after the break.
Radiant team ban. Navi's turn to ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Radiant team ban. Navi's turn to ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Radiant team pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Navi's turn to pick.
Enchantress.
Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Navi's turn to pick.
Warlock.
Radiant team ban.
Praise King.
Well, our analysts may have been disappointed by Navi's performance, and in fact, I'm going to go ahead and read into the players' reactions. I think Navi was a little disappointed in themselves after game 1, but what matters is they got the W, because as long as they continue to get these W's, they will be going to the major. Can't drop a series against Unique, and correction for what I said earlier, they also have to be able to beat PuckChamp, not Extremum. So, let's see what we got here on our second series draft.
Yeah, and I do want to clarify, the reason that we are so critical is because they put themselves in just weird positions. You know, there was chances for them to lose this game after they are so far ahead, and they need to play cleaner and better if they do look forward to having like a better.
This is an organization that's expected to like take top 6, top 8 in majors, like as a reputation thing. You know, you are supposed to be ready to compete with the best, and you haven't proven that you can convincingly beat Division 1 DPC of CIS, of Eastern European.
Yeah, second season would already be a disappointment to NAVI, no matter how well they play these final games, because they went from being the second best team in CIS, the only team that we looked at as maybe they can possibly compete against Virtus Pro, and now they're even in a worse position, despite making on paper, should have been an upgrade.
Yeah, if this is any team that's 4 through 8 in any division that's not expecting to go to a major, we'd be like, yeah, okay, a little bit sloppy, but they pulled it off. It's like, we know Navi is better than that, and that they have to aim to be better than that. So that's why we always are a bit harsher on the better teams, but I do believe it's called for in times like this, where we've played with a lot of these guys. We've played at this level of you just. It literally looked like a pub. You know, everyone built their own items, and everyone was kind of like losing focus of their vision of the game. We could tell communication was breaking down a little bit. And the cool thing for Navi is, since they won, I will say that they look way better than Team Unique. Like their vision of the game was much better in the draft. The way they played the first 20 minutes was incredibly clean. Yeah. It just was everything about getting lazy and overconfident after that.
I think that's, overconfidence is my biggest thing. I mean, Ramses, I feel like he was very stable. Didn't make any goofy stuff. Like, his build was very straightforward, made the good plays, so I was very happy with watching him at Always One Online.
The Manta Axe is really cool there. I've realized that the worse of an Axe game it is, the better of a Manta Shard game it is, usually. Because usually Axe games that are quote-unquote bad in the past were games where you either easily died while you were trying to farm, and Manta solves that problem, and you really didn't have like a clear blink target to initiate onto and kill. You're dealing with Morph, Tide, Tiny. But the Manta Shard build allows you to do enough damage to take like half or more of these guys' health off, which allows 1+1 follow-up to get kills. So it's like, okay, the classic solution of our hero doesn't have the best matchup, let's farm a bunch of items, and the Axe Manta Shard build, I think, really fits those type of games. So I like that they were willing to first pick the Axe, and Ramses was able to make something happen in a game where it was seemingly a bunch of bad matchups. And so looking into this game, they have the Warlock, Doom, Grim, very demonic lineup so far, but also low amount of disable.
Lots of fun. So bind with Fatal Bonds, with Doom. Lots of fun potential.
How do you not ban Grim when they open Warlock Doom? Is that not literally the best 2 heroes in the game?
Probably because they have Wraith King, right? So they're like, okay, we counterpick the big team fight, the big initiations and stuff. But yeah, it is a very straightforward thing for Navi. And now they do get their PA. It was banned first 2 in the first series from Unique, and now they do get V-Tune on his best hero and the one that they're so stable with on the side of.
Do we think it's Grimstroke Doom offlane, or do you think they're going to last pick Ramses' hero and put the Doom mid for Iceberg? Or is that up in the air still based on what matchups we see?
Probably any chance that it could be 3 Grimstroke. I've seen some people experimenting.
It's like, obviously there's a chance, but then you're last picking your 4, or you're putting Doom 4. I don't think you put a ranged squishy against Wraith King. It's like a nice thought in lane, but eventually he just pops 6 skeletons. Use your Stroke of Fate to clear him once, and then the Wraith King's just going to walk away.
Well, Unique are going to mirror the versatility here. Could be Sand King mid, alongside the Doom mid, or it could be offlane and Doom is offlane.
I wouldn't be surprised if it's offlane. It's pretty good in lane against PA. One of the few carries you don't mind laning against.
Yeah, and they do. I mean, the thing about the Grimstroke too is they did have Enchantress already. I think that's maybe why they didn't ban it. They always have a way to deal with it, at least in the side lanes versus Inkswell, but for sure.
The Warlock has to be careful in lane. He can't really use his heal defensively. I'm assuming the Enchantress will go 4. I guess it's possible it goes 5. But you can't... The spell on the Warlock heal is possible from the Enchantress on enemies, but not on allies.
Yes. They do have potential for both if they do. Whichever lane they do want to make a little bit stronger in particular.
Yeah, they're assuming it's Doom mid for now.
10 seconds
at least
remaining.
Based on the fact that it's not necessarily they are 100% sure it's a Doom mid, but Slardar Grim against Wraith King would be real tough to deal with.
Yeah, and just Slardar PA just makes the game very easy.
And they need some catch, right? They need some chase potential, I would say, is what Na'Vi needs. Centaur's already banned out, of course. Slardar, Axe, Sand King's taken away. What other stunning heroes are there in the offlane? It almost makes me inclined to think it is a Doom offlane because there's probably more options in the mid lane than there are in the offlane.
That is fair. And yeah, I mean, they really do lack catch, unless they just want to use ults pretty much every time they do need that extra catch. So, ban out the Kunkka. So it looks like they are targeting mid now, switching it back up, as you mentioned.
They don't have any super mobile dudes on Unique. Yeah, they have the Sand King, which is somewhat mobile, but I think the PA dagger plus a reinitiation from either the PA or Doom having a blink would be enough to catch them. So as of now, I don't think Unique's presented
10 seconds remaining.
like the need for Na'Vi to have an immense amount of catch, but you still want
5
something.
seconds
Kundo
remaining.
would have been nice. I like that ban too. Just be able to force the fight that way.
And the Pugna.
Pugna.
Usually indicates something like a TA or something like that, but...
Navi's turn to pick.
Wind Ranger at your service.
Wind
Ranger. Great counter versus the PA, if that is, Unique, as I figured, picking that one up. If you're able to get that build online, you just get that quick MKB rush. Active, that's what I'm seeing from side of Unique. Rather than being as reliant on cooldowns, I did feel like last game got a little crazy, but I did feel like they were completely reliant on Ravage to ever be able to take a fight. This one doesn't feel like they are as cooldown reliant.
Incredibly single target, though.
It's true.
On Unique. My concern is that if they're forced to take 5v5s, Unique will struggle. But they have very low cooldown, like you said, constantly active, run at you. Na'Vi wants to hit a lot more creeps. They only really need to hit creeps on one hero on the side of Unique. Wind Ranger's relatively passive for maybe 15 minutes. Like usually they spend the first 15 minutes heavily prioritizing their own game and then start to run around.
Okay, they just take that Underlord, so I mean some really good situations here for Firestone Pit. It definitely has its value. And it's just a good group up. Eventually, V-Tooney's gonna hit his timings, they're gonna say, come at us. And Underlord's always that great method to be able to force these engagements.
You either try to beat them at their own game by picking something that kills the Wind Ranger, or you try to make their game unplayable in the attempt to just 5-man everywhere. And Underlord's nice because he allows a 5-man lineup to be more mobile on the map with regards to defending a tower and taking one without having to use a bunch of TPs, and also gives you that dangerous lane farmer that we saw last game, that Unique's lineup wants to kill you when you're showing on lanes. I think it's a similar story here. Underlord's probably one of the best dangerous farming offlaners in the game. So I think Na'Vi is going to run it back. I think they're going to, learn their lesson from the first game and execute the way they need to.
What do you guys think about the mid matchup? Wind Ranger versus mid Doom? We don't really see that matchup very often.
I assume Doom just free farms.
Doom just free farms, it feels like, yeah.
Wind Ranger doesn't do enough early levels to bully you away.
So it feels like that pick was very much focused on countering V-Toon and not necessarily about the laner.
Once he gets Javelin, he can solo kill Doom or PA, which is really good.
I like the lane setups a little bit better from Unique this time, too. Wraith King Snapfire, we've seen this one tested so many times. A hero like Underlord, you may be tanky at times, but you get put negative armor, and it actually is just so much damage from the crits. So I do like Unique's draft a bit better than the last time around, but I think Na'Vi, they're gonna get their act together a bit better. Like those first 20 minutes last game, perfect. And that's where they should be, just be able to clean it up right afterwards. Like finish the game up, get Roshans, get
take it seriously with the items.
Yeah.
Okay. So for Unique, we're going to be looking for successful side lanes, right?
Yes.
That's the biggest thing. Spread the Sand King lane as well.
They need map momentum. They need to snowball map control with kill threats so that Na'Vi can't leave their side of the map.
Okay. Well, it ended up pushing well past 60 minutes last game. We'll see what we get this game with Moxie and Purge.
Feels like we always get the long games, especially last season, right, Purge? But you know, as long as it's good Dota, I don't mind. And it does feel like this time around, Navi, they should play perhaps just a little bit more controlled. And on the side of Unique, they're really reliant on being able to snowball, from what the guys have said.
Yeah, that absolutely is what's happening. Navi going back for their default standard picks, basically. Doom mid they've been doing consistently. PA got banned first phase last game. It is a V-Tune special. They win on it a lot. And then the other heroes are also, like, everything is really standard here. Warlock, Grimstroke. The weirdest hero they drafted is Underlord offlane, which is still being picked by a lot of teams. So, yeah, definitely more on the Unique side for stuff that's a bit more interesting. The Wind Ranger mid is certainly a hero that needs to snowball to be really effective. You need to buy time to get your BKB at a good timing, and then after that, you need to continue to scale. And your big threat is that you get solo pickoffs, that you are getting killing heroes at the start of the fight, basically. Kind of like Tiny a little bit, but a little bit slower. It's not like that instant burst. It's more like Shackle guy, focus fire.
The thing that I'm most concerned about is the fact that Iceberg is just going to get free farm, and I feel like whenever you have a mid matchup where one hero is going to be able to just get free farm, things quickly spiral out of control, and this is something that Unique cannot allow Navi to have, because they have to be ahead the entire time. How do they offset this?
I would agree with you if Doom was like a standard mid hero that's mobile and can easily get ganks off and set things up. Like Tiny getting a fast blink dagger and then controlling the map is really impressive, right? But Doom is a little slower in the sense that, like, he gets a lot of net worth, but it's not like he can constantly move around the map slaying people. Doom has a long cooldown. And the other abilities you grab are effective too, and yeah, you can go around right-clicking and Scorched Earth running at people, but it's not quite the same. So yeah, he'll get great net worth, but it all comes down to like how many effective kills he can get against Wind Ranger. And he's going to want to Doom FN like almost every team fight. Most likely, remove Dispel Windrun, make sure she can't cast spells. It'll be a good counter there. But his net worth might not be the biggest deal. Depends on what he does with it.
The other thing I'm a little concerned about with Unique's draft is you have the Snapfire, right? And a lot of the reason why you pick up the Snapfire is because of that little Shredder. I can see already you have the Blightstone picked up because it's just so nice to bully in lane. Oh, actually going for the cookie first. Okay, interesting.
Maybe worried about keeping his allies alive. He can secure range creep with it as well, as the other thing. So could be something that he's opting for that.
But I was going to say, you know, one of the other really nice appeals of having Snapfire is the magic nuke damage that you could do with the Mortimer's Kisses, but they haven't drafted anything to really make it super effective. Like, you know, I almost would have liked to have seen something like an Underlord perhaps on the side of, you know, Unique, something to hold them in place.
I would agree if they didn't have both Sand King, who's a great initiator, and also Wind Ranger for shackle setups with him. That's the scariest thing about the Unique lineup, frankly, is that their initiation is pretty simple. Whether it's Wraith King into another stun or Burrow Strike into a follow-up stun as well. So they've got options to start things, and then if Snapfire's sit in the back line, start throwing the ulti. As soon as like there's a blink Burrow Strike, you launch the kisses. You ideally get a kill. So they have some ways, but it's reliant on either FN on the Wind Ranger landing initiations with Shackle Shot, or Ghost Stick having a good blink time. Those two is the important.
Here, and not the cookie out forward. Here onto Ramses, plus the little Shredder. Look at that amount of damage that you can dish out here in lane. That is going to force out the salve here on Ramses.
He's got to deal with Skellies first, which is the worst because they just aggro you out.
Yeah, they just chase you down.
Just delays this whole thing. Now he can press it as long as they aggro. Yeah.
Nothing feels worse than when you're like, oh, thank God. All right, gonna heal up, and then one of them just pops out of the ground. You're like, oh my God, I can't believe I forgot about that.
That is especially tile up games. Bottle coming for FN now. He should be able to grab a water rune. Nightbird also going for a bottle to offset some of that harass there, but after losing a lot of mana using power shot spam, Iceberg seems completely unfazed, but hey, that's one way to offset the fact that Doom has huge base.
I mean, this is the Iceberg special, right? You know, we talked about the Mirana in the first game just because we were a little surprised the first time it came around, but this is one of his favorite heroes in that mid lane recently. Sure, yeah, he's very familiar with how to deal with all this.
Just does good stuff. Like you're pretty. It's really safe to pick early. Basically, leaves their draft really protected. Gives them more counter picks basically because he knows that no matter what, he's gonna have an okay.
B2's taking a lot of harass here, thanks to Bignum, and of course that Satyr Tormentor.
Chantress.
We don't see her as often in like a lot of the other regions. Like specifically, I don't think we've seen a lot of her in the Western region recently. Like occasionally you see certain players are very, very good with it, right? But
Yeah, No Tail did play her recently. It was like one of the first times I'd seen Nature's actually lose the lane. It's lane against the Nature's Prophet of the other day. It is still played sometimes.
Ooh, Ramses. Alright, they do have the ink spell on him this time, so he's gonna be able to trudge away, and he's gonna need another salve here from Roger, but consumables are very expensive nowadays.
Yeah, and Roger had to spend like 200 mana to keep Ramses alive there. He had to use a nuke to slow them down and Inkswell just to run away with Ramses. So if they just keep going aggressive like this, it's great for their chances of winning the lane.
Mm-hmm. Still, though, about 4 minutes in, no first blood just yet. Although we've seen a couple attempts here in the bottom lane, as they've tried to make the play onto Ramses. Otherwise, pretty quiet.
On the other side of the map, Navi did a great job blocking the Lord camp. I'm sure the Enchantress has to run farther to go grab creeps here. He's gonna go to the deeper part. So that's the saver on the other side, but grabbing this would be great. Oh, they finally got him.
Finally got him, but they do manage to get them set. Oh,
yes. All right, fine, Dragonlance Roger. That, you know what to do, baby.
A great.
Dare spend this gold a normal way.
A great turnaround here for the side of Navi, not only being able to take down the Snapfire, but also taking down Palantimos. And all they had to do was lose Ramses. That's Wild Wing spam, though.
My assumption is what happened is they went for the kill. They used Firestorm and they got the level 2 Inkswell to blow up and do a lot of damage. That's why they were both so low afterwards. They also don't have sticks on either Slayer or Palantir, so a little bit harder to counterplay in that circumstance. Whereas they have sticks on the Navi side. So
always want to fly. Get poked away. They've got Impetus here. They've got that Wild Ring as well. They'll follow up with the Burrow Strike, and they need a little bit more damage, but down will go the Warlock.
It really helps when you're playing Sand King with a really strong lane support, because Sand King's a little bit weak himself in terms of fighting to the death. So off to a great start on Ghost 6 side, and against a melee hero, he's got some easy harass options too. For Soul Ring actually on. Don't see this very often, but hey, it's a great item on strength heroes. It's like a bracer plus armor, which is perfect against Sand. It's a PA. See what he does itemization, but I assume we'll just see it blink. This.
I think he kind of has to, right? Because you've got, your Wind Ranger can run in, obviously, but you need that follow-up.
Are scanning.
I think it's too scary for that to be your primary source of initiation, especially earlier on.
The rune fight here, Bignum moving in against Iceberg. Here's Focus Fire.
Ooh, they get the stomp off too here, thanks to Bignum. We'll get the Doom off over here on the Wind Ranger, but Iceberg might actually fall if he's not careful. All right, he's up onto the high ground now. Looks like he's gonna be surviving.
Not bad at all. Forcing out Doom like that is a great usage of your time.
Dyer's
He's got 2
middle
bottle
tower
charges
is
as
under
well, so
attack.
he'll be absolutely okay here. Now he doesn't have to worry about that anymore. And Focus Fire is going to come off cooldown much earlier than this. He's almost got the Javelin too, so Iceberg might be a little limited. Like, oh, that feels so bad when you get hit by these envenomed weapons while you're bottling in the low. You lose, what, 30% of your heal? 35% of your heal. That's bottle, that's salve. It's a big deal.
Cookie hop backwards here. Just gonna make sure Palantimos doesn't get stuck in that pit of malice. And V2, though, despite all the plinking away that they've done here on the top lane, still sitting at pretty decent net worth.
So far. Yeah, actually, Iceberg's still doing really good on farm. His net worth is huge. Sitting about 700 gold ahead of what Wind Ranger is, but he's just maxed out Devour first. He knows he's not going to be able to kill her outside of using Doom, so why bother maxing out Scorched Earth here?
It's about what you'd expect from a Doom in any case. TP is coming to the bottom, though. It's like FN wants to try to make something happen. The Cookie over on the side here. They got a beautiful shackle. So Ramses gets taken out, and Roger is forced back. So a nice rotation here from FN will net him a kill.
Different skill build from Roger. So this is his Dragonlance. It's maxing out Stroke of Fate. Gives him the ability to basically push lanes. And most Grimstrokes these days aren't maxing it early because their goal is basically to explode follow up. So much more.
I think they're more concerned about hitting creeps than actually hitting Ghost Stick. I think they just want to push them out.
With all these so aggressive.
Slayer starts clicking away over here on Roger. FN is nearby. They can easily get this kill if they decide to go for it. Power shot not connecting, though. So Roger will be allowed to survive here in this middle lane. And he also manages to nab that double damage, so he's got to be very happy.
Radiant are scanning.
They're going to move a lot more now, and this should be fine. Never mind, Snapfire comes bottom again. They want to keep threatening kill on Ramses here, and he's definitely still very killable. He actually does not have boots yet. He's got good regen, good mana regen as well with the soul ring, or mana usage, but...
Hello, Iceberg.
He could get careful here. See if he shows. If he does, Snapfire will pop out. In the meantime, Iceberg roam towards the top lane. Sand King backed up. That gets spotted on the wards. They're not going to waste time there. They might get a big dumb kill, but
Wait up.
this doesn't feel that good either.
No. Job's completed now for Iceberg. Like you said, they just don't feel like they need to hard commit on the Enchantress. Too busy just farming up. For the time being.
The chances of killing him are low anyways. You have to doom him just to get damage out. It doesn't feel...
No, not a high priority doom target. I think they were hoping that they could get Ghost Stick in the top lane. Try to slow him down a little bit. He is walking towards the blink.
Is he close? Let's see. He's getting there. About 800 more gold to go. Bought Tranquils just to stabilize his lane a little bit. Don't always see that, but it's fine. It's a little bit altered. Ramses steps up though. Bottom.
Quickly hop forward. Just gonna remove some of that armor here, and he's gonna be allowed to survive in the top lane though. We do have some big action going on. They'll stun Ghost Stick over here on the side. They do manage to go and get the doom up on the back lines. Roger will fall. As now Ghost Stick is just trying to get away. B2 has to be careful though. These little creeps are just chasing him after. FN will fall. We'll get the kill on Ghost Stick, and they'll clean up on Always Wanna Fly. They should be able to finish off Bignum here. Couple more hits, and down he goes.
What a monster rotation there. I mean, Doom gets the Doom off on the perfect target. There was no spells used by FN, I believe. Focus Fire certainly was not. And then he's able to get all these kills before even Warlock dies. Like, lots of experience going to them. That puts Warlock, like, with the Tome. He's going to be close to, like, level 7. Just perfect timing for him to be in the top lane.
I thought for a second V-Tune was going to fall to the Enchantress creeps. Did you see them chasing after him the entire time?
I did not. No.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, he had to jump around and do some blinking action to get away.
Berg's like a firm 2,000 some gold ahead of everybody else in the game. So that rotation was so
Radiant's
massive here.
bottom tower is under attack.
Fen would love to get a kill. It's just really hard. Between like Drum Charge and Phase, Doom could just zip out of like almost any danger. It's got like what 30% movement speed bonus or something. That's like 100 movement speed. What he's walking just normally. So like as long as he doesn't get like chain disabled, he doesn't have to worry too much about pressure.
He is a speed demon. Top lane though, pressure being placed on the tier 1. Timo's rotating here with the boys, and they'll remove that tower from the map. At the bottom lane though, Ramsey's trying to do exactly the same thing, a little bit slower than a Wraith King and a Snapfire, but eventually we'll get the job done, especially because he's got that Cardi there to help him out.
The nice thing is that PA's been hitting creeps, no threat to dying. Got Battle Fury at a reasonable time. He's actually in Battle Fury without boot. I'm sorry, he does have trap.
Dire's middle tower
but should have Battle Fury soon.
Dire are
And we'll see if the
scanning.
pressure can offset this. No Doom for 30 seconds. There's a small window here. Unique can pressure it, but still a ways from Radiance.
They use the scan too over on the side. They know that they're trying to make a move, so you'll see that Ramses will very subtly enter into the middle lane. But the follow-up here, Mortimer's Kiss is coming out, and that's exactly what we're looking for. Ramses will go down. They drop the chaotic offering on the back lines, as it looks like the rest of the team, they just scatter.
It's just not.
Tries to slow it down with his Vanguard, but that's not going to help against all that magic damage.
Not against the Snapfire.
For my coffin.
Alright, tower goes down, and Unique is making all the right moves right now. Putting pressure on the map, and it's a bit of a reverse from last time. They're pressuring, trying to make that map more claustrophobic for the side of Navi. Look at the stack. Oof. Gotta make sure you don't give these up, guys.
This is one of the biggest weaknesses actually of going Battle Fury. It's that like it takes a while to finish the item, and then you can take stacks. So these heroes that can just do stacks by themselves, like we saw last game with the Axe, just feel so much safer. Because if your opponents invade you and clean you out, it's a lot of wasted time for your supports.
I mean, Ramses can do those with some help from the Grimstroke too. They're gonna make a jump on Bignum here?
The large can't be. Not the ancients.
No. Forward. And they should be able... No, again, Bignum, he's just so difficult to take, yeah. Iceberg does get spotted by Ghost Stick, and of course... yeah, he turns around, gets the Doom off, they get the double silence as well with the Soul Bind, but they're just going to try to tilt it down as fast as possible.
close.
I think he's all right. Very, very close, like you said.
Wind Ranger moved down there with his Invis rune. He spotted Doom out. Doom started running away, but he was able to land the shackle. Then Sanking Burrow followed up. He got that kill.
Oh, that power shot.
The last hit as well. It was FN. Okay, so he gets 3 gold out of that. Halfway to Blink Dagger now. Very big pick off, taking out that high
Radiant's
Battle
bottom tower
But
is
Battle
under
Fury is
attack.
online for VTune, and the stack belongs to him. So should feel very, very happy about that. Roger's still nearby, wants to sap a little bit as well. And you can see VTune's very, very thankful, even going to tip Roger once he notices these big juicy stacks waiting for him.
Yeah, I mean, that's a lot of network. Lightstone is going to go for a BKB afterwards. Ghost Stick playing aggressive on the map right now with Blink Daggers. Epicenter is ready to go in case they find a grab here, but Ramsey's playing safe. It's going to buy some time. Most has got his Relic coming right now. So the Radiance is going to be a little slow for sure from his side. It's either going to go for Roger the DD. Okay.
That negative armor, thanks to the Snapfire, of course, and with the double damage, FN should be able to chip down one Roshan very, very quickly here. Getting close to that Radiance too for Palantimos.
Bad at all. I really like how Slayer in that last fight, where they picked off the Doom, he used Lil Shredder to instantly clear out the Phantom's Embraces. That was really nice. Saved some damage from his allies and removed the silence. That was a really cool use of the Lil Shredder. It's just so multi-purpose.
Alright, this time they'll be able to hunt down Big then, and they'll get themselves a kill.
Just an Enchantress. I mean, considering they just got Roche out of that, absolutely worth it.
Radiant's bottom tower is
And
under
now
attack.
Aegis on Wind Ranger also makes Doom feel way less effective, right? Because now if he wants to Doom Wind Ranger, it's like, okay, Wind Ranger's gonna come. The best thing about it, at least, is that you could Doom him and ignore him, because then he's not impacting for 16 seconds, but Unique has a good moment. They are still behind in net worth, but they have definite kill potential. So if they can catch Navi out of place, this would be really good for him.
Ramsey's gonna throw out that Firestorm, put a little bit of harass on FN, but can't do really much aside from that for this time being. Clear up the wards here, over on FN. And Navi will just back off towards the triangle.
Good job being aggressive. FN gets to push out mid lane pretty safely. If he didn't have Aegis, he would be worried about dying. So yeah, BKB coming for Doom. So they could force a fight now if they're interested. Well, there it is, Roger, baby. Buy that Ags. Hell yeah. Who needs Glimmer Cape? You want to be powerful. I get it.
Give me the Dark Portrait.
Navi doesn't do so well this season. I could definitely see Roger be like, it's your time, guys. I'm the carry now. Switch his role, something like that. It's possible.
He's still, I remember casting,
Radiant structures are fortified.
you know, Eastern European Dota, like when I first started my career. And he was playing Spirit Breaker, and he knew he was gonna die. He was chasing after this Ion. The Ion's like way behind the tower, but he just would not stop. He just goes right down mid lane, hitting the taunt button the entire time, making the donkey noises, and he just full committed for it. Didn't even get the kill on Ion, but I was like, that is a man who knows exactly what he wants, and I have respect for that. I thought it was really funny. I don't think his team did though.
Dire's top tower.
Oh yeah, they'll jump over here onto the PA, but VTune having Ramses nearby will just immediately blank out. Do they go back in is the question. As Bignum does get spotted here by Iceberg. Look, he's so slow to try to hit her though.
Dire's top tower is
untouchable.
under
1 point and untouchable, man.
He didn't even interrupt the TP. That felt weird. You're not going to kill if you can see his HP. You can do the math. He's got the health talent. A little weird. No epicenter now, but gonna make it harder to kill the other cores. But it just seems clear that Navi's not gonna really fully commit here.
And there it is. There's that Radiance completed now for Palantimos. They're gonna be looking to take over more of the map here as they walk right into Roger. Fire Blast. He's got the Inkswell on him. Follow up though from Ghost Stick. It'll stun for a little bit, but he's still going to fall. And there's some creeps over here that are ripe for the taking. They don't see him though. They don't have the vision.
They check him right after this.
Or they drop a ward. Slayer's like, ho ho. Don't mind if I Scooby-Dooby-Doo.
Really good movement speed for everything. Raw HP is going to be a little bit lacking here, so he's definitely very burstable, especially against a hero like PA. Has pretty overwhelming damage.
Bounty!
Bow as well. Pretty good. That's so good on Wind Ranger, actually. Extra attack range, it's going to amplify all the magic damage you do by 15%, which is basically where all of his damage comes from. Maelstrom as well as Power Shot. It's a perfect neutral item so far. He's going to get better separation between who he's attacking and wherever Doom might be, so that could make the difference in these initiations. So things looking okay for Unique. Till the Ags on Grimstroke comes out, 1,800 gold away from it. And then he's going to make a Dark Portrait of Wraith King, and he's going to get his free Radiance. But the downside is that it's going to be an illusion, be as good as a regular. So is it good? No.
It's better than no Radiance illusion.
Yes, but you're trading a mediocre Radiance illusion for 4,200 gold, which is a little bit weird.
Yeah, there's definitely better items I think that he could probably have picked up. I don't know.
Glimmer, probably. There's a lot of magic burst. Surely Glimmer is good.
I feel like Glimmer is usually never a bad thing. Unique though, again, making these nice moves and kind of pushing them out of their own jungle on the side of Navi. But you can also see Navi, they're trying to just do some mirroring, right? They put down their own wards, they're trying to find whatever space that they can get as Iceberg and Always Want to Fly are just paired up together, holding each other's hands as they jungle.
One negative about Roger buying defensive items is that it is going to help in like later game scenarios to have these powerful impact. And he is a 4-position hero, so it does make some sense. I definitely agree that his items last game were basically garbage and not probably worth buying because he could have died less or saved an ally a bit more. But as the game continues, Dark Portrait could be good. Grab on
jump forward here. The BKB does get popped though on FN. Doesn't want to get locked into place here. TPs are coming out though. They're gonna fight this. Palantimo's in the fight. Does have that Radiance completed and the armlet. It's gonna run right into Ramses' Iceberg. He's the speed demon here on the back line. He's gonna just turn around the corner, walks right into Palantimos. It's gonna get off a little bit of that damage. The Atos, the follow-up here from Ghostic though. They've got the set. He's got his BKB, so the Snapfire Kisses are not gonna matter as much as he is just so far away from the rest of his team. He's trying to just burst down that reincarnation over here. As the rest of Navi on the back foot, trying to run away. They don't want to fight this now. No, though. Dagger tossed out. Oh, they consider it. Cookie hop forward again. Palantimos, though, didn't go down during all of that.
Did not. He was able to armlet toggle through the Infernal Blade. A little scary. They're going to re-engage, though. BKB's up in 20 seconds for Wind Ranger if they can get a good grab. Get a pick off, that kind of thing. That's how they win their fights. And this is it.
All right, Ramsey starts the engine in the Hoover. Doesn't want to be here any longer, but unfortunately, Always Want to Fly not going to be able to quite make that cab. The rest of Navi running away.
So now it's okay. That was a little hairy. Walking up that cliff earlier where they got fatal bonds, a huge mistake, but their cooldown's up. Most important thing is that FN gets BKB off before he gets Doom. That way he does not take magic damage for at least part of the duration. Obviously Doom does damage through that, but BJ in the back though, he's looking for a pickoff. He wants to
He's be careful. All right, he's gonna jump over. That's a big them again, but they've had such difficulty taking down this Enchantress each time. I'm surprised in their choice of target.
What?
I don't know.
What?
I don't know.
That was very weird. Like, I get that he's there to look for a kill or something, but a little bizarre. And that's your BKB charge. Now they have to play defensive for another like 70 seconds. Bizarre, definitely weird. And they still had a dead hero too, so it's like, why use that as your moment? Maybe he thought he was gonna get a kill. Bignum's tanky, he's got a Dragon Lance. It makes sense on Enchantress, guys, don't worry. Increases his impetus damage. Definitely better than the Winter Wyvern. Dragon Lance.
That's all right on a core Winter Wyvern, but on the Roger Winter Wyvern in that game, seemed a little.
It's not very good on core.
Dire's bottom
pretty bad.
I said it was okay, Purge. I'm trying to be nice.
K is too strong as
okay.
well. Okay.
Purge just wants me to say it's Garbo.
Pretty Garbo, yeah. Unless Vector attack range reduces your damage, or your agility or strength there, then it's okay.
All right, Iceberg, he's got the blink here. No, they're just gonna let Palantimos take the tower. They don't know where everyone else is on the side of Unique, so they're waiting patiently. The jump forward immediately do spot out this Wind Ranger, so they're gonna try to burst her down as the BKBs. Look at this gang train going on. It's always on the fly. Does fall in the backlines. V2 finally finding this kill. Iceberg just have to be a little bit careful here. He's pretty fast, pretty tanky, as they'll jump right back in. Again, they'll get the kill on Slayer.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
They're still going.
But
they're hoping they can grab. They have vision.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Dagger. Oh, Big Num again. Has a Lotus Orb completed. Iceberg just can't exactly hit him, though.
And he changed up his neutral creep. He got the pack leader's aura, 30% damage bonus. It's amazing with PA, obviously. Makes her crits harder and helps them deal with the Wind Ranger, even though she's BKB. So they're able to kill her with physical damage, even though she popped BKB in time to Doom.
Radiant's
yeah,
middle
a little bit
tower
better for
is under
Navi, I
attack.
suppose, but it feels like Unique's been getting more out of the map, so still about even.
Unique going right back over, checking the Roche. They see it's back up. Would not be surprised. Yeah, Bigman's already starting it up, but Ghost Stick is forced to burrow strike away. They've got the Lotus on him.
For that, yeah, if they can Lotus Reflect Doom, it would change things a lot for sure.
Immediately getting jumped on here by Palantinos, but the Enchantress on the back lines. Passing out the spears. It's still going to be Palantinos who gets the kill, though. So without Ramses being alive, right back into the pit, I think.
Nature attendance.
Is the play here.
A little squishy. I mean, the Vanguard is decent, but at this point, it's not feeling so good. And they should get Roche out of this. It's an axe shard. Who will it go to? Honestly, I'm really not sure.
I mean, the obvious choice is right, the Wraith King, right?
Immortality!
No, it's not, because it gives you, lets you respawn with no mana on your ulti, but there's no mana drain on the enemy team.
That's fair.
And you spawn some skeletons, but it's basically that part is worthless. They give it to Wind Ranger
Global power shot.
I've nobody's ever bought this because it's not good, but like if you look at the team on Unique, they are legit like very few good shards. So it's kind of cool. Like you can scout with it, and it kind of functions like Ice Blast. You can kill people before they're dead if they're below 13%. And it lowers the power shot cooldown too, which is kind of cool. But it's not something you should ever buy. But for free, hell yeah, let's see.
I want some 360 no scope action here. Show me, FN.
I'm really curious to see how often he uses it for scouting. Because vision is so big in pro games, so that's like one aspect of it that'll be really. Slayer does
True.
just keeps flying.
I feel like it could be a very big disadvantage, I guess, as well.
Dire's
I guess
bottom
not.
tower
Oh,
is
then
under
you know where he's
attack.
standing or something.
Yeah, but if you're so far that, yeah.
Oh, get shot.
Radiant's top tower
Which is
is
actually
under
kind of
attack.
good. They know where PA is now. Like,
Dire's
legitimately, that was
bottom
okay.
tower is under attack.
He's like nuking from creep waves to
Dire's
like
structures
jungle camps,
are
and there's an okay chance that somebody is hitting creeps there. So here he does it again. Power
Radiant
shot in the top lane. Here it
structures
comes.
are
It missed. It was less.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Yeah, you're doing a lot of scouting, though.
Dire's
Just
bottom
tossing it
tower
out.
has fallen.
Being able to clear off some of the creeps if they, No, not yet.
Radiant's
It only
top
hits
tower
heroes
has
beyond
fallen.
the
That's right, that's
so you
true.
can't split push with it. But you
God,
can.
imagine if you could, though.
It'll be
It'd be
way too-
broken. Super broken.
Yeah.
Double
Ooh, that's a
damage.
big crit on Palantimos. Yikes.
I feel like a busted clockwork rocket, like super busted.
Alright, pressure on the mid tower right now. Ramsey's very forward. Got the Inkswell. They've got the Dark Portrait of the. Looks like it's completed. So Palantimos will go down one time. Coming right back up again. They got this BKB over on FN. They drop the Chaotic Offering. So just trying to push them back. FN, though, perhaps he's gone a bit too far here as he's just running circles. He wants to finish off Iceberg, and he will be able to do it, but the dagger comes in. They'll find the kill. Snapfire Kisses just trying to make a little buffer space. So again, we'll come right back
Dire's middle
up.
tower is
They
under
do
attack.
manage to pick up the gem here over on the side of
Radiant's
Navi,
top
but
tower is under
they've
attack.
So good for Navi. Like, the Dark Portrait was really effective, especially with the armlet on Wraith King and the SNY. He just got ran down. That was his first life. That gave them an option potentially to like
Radiant's
doom
top
Wraith King
tower
afterwards,
is under
but instead they
attack.
go for Wind Ranger. It gets reflected,
Dire's
and as a
middle
result,
tower is under attack. Middle tower
a good fight
has
for Unique.
fallen.
3k gold advantage now. Things are looking good.
can see that fight playing out again here. Palantimos very far forward, and the Dark Portrait does get made.
Well, lots of damage. Yeah, they clean him up fast, but let's watch for the Doom here. He pops BKB, he goes to Doom. Deflected.
Healing power.
And he can't do anything. FN's just running him around in circles.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
I'll take it.
The Dark Portrait.
Is under attack.
This is the most creepy Dark Portrait you've ever seen.
I don't think that's the creepiest. I'm sure there's got to be creepier.
It's like one of those, like, it's like a small animal that's like possessed, you know? It's like that creepy. It's like you think it's gonna be cute, but it's not.
Oh, okay, yeah, I could see that.
That kind of creepy.
Yeah, that's fair.
Small child possessed by the devil, that kind of thing.
Not sure if Enchantress gives me small child vibes, but
That was, yeah. Teddy bear, that's evil. The doll.
she is pretty crazy. Like, her voice lines are actually like, what is it, the overly attached girlfriend meme?
I thought you were gonna say like crazy cat lady, but for all animals, because she has no friend.
Okay, first of all, I'm a crazy cat lady. Thanks, Turge.
I'm sorry
It's
about
way too close to home. Why you gotta do this to me? Side of Navi, they have made their way to the bottom half of the map. There is no one home, though, so they're just gonna try to farm up safely, go take down one of the Hellbear Smashers. Not the team or the players, but of course the actual creature. And Ramses does go top here. They are smoked up. They're paying attention. They'll notice that there is a firestorm, but oh, they're split. They're split. Roger and always want to fly immediately gets spotted here. As you can see, Palsy was just running down Roger. Wants to get rid of him. Already has that dark portrait up, so to get stunned. Looks like Roger is going to be able to run out. Although V-Tune falling on the back lines. It's a good pit of malice over on the side. We'll slow him down a little bit, but always want to fly also will fall. They've got the dark portrait trying to chase down Bignum, but doesn't quite do enough here.
The Dark Portrait's really annoying for them to deal with. It gives a lot more teamfight potential for Navi because it's just so low cost, right? 35-second cooldown creates a way for them to deal damage without committing the heroes. It's actually pretty smart, this game. I like it a lot.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Made all their poking just so much easier because normally they're so cooldown reliant, right? Like Doom is a really long cooldown. PA has to press BKB to feel confident fighting. But with Dark Portrait, they just like make this strong thing. They get vision, they get ink swelling aggressively, but they don't have to worry as much about that initiation.
Look at him just getting chased down by his own portrait.
And now there's a Radiance burn, which is giving mischance, and an AC Aura that they're going to get on the Navi side as well. So it's doing a lot of good stuff here.
Lincoln Sphere completed now for Wind Ranger. It's going to be able to have even more survivability now as we've got Lincoln's and the BKB. So it'll be hard for them to pin down FN.
He needed that pretty. This could force Doom, who doesn't have an item that can break Lincoln's, to change up his neutral item. I don't think he's going to want to do that, but it's basically just going to make it a lot harder for him to Doom Wind Ranger and fight.
They've got Atos on the Underlord at the very least. Like, you've got a couple little spells, but you've got to be very in tune with wanting to set this up properly.
Best is probably Stifling Dagger.
Probably.
The low committal. Throw that out.
Problem is they're just
Orbit Destruction too.
beelining onto V-Tune in a lot of these fights. That power shot sliding by. The dagger gets tossed. I'll look at the Atos. Unique though, smoked up. Can try to wrap around. They know exactly where Navi is. T-Mouse is going to be able to toggle away. And the play is coming. Grapple ward.
They're going in.
Yeah, they'll find themselves Ramses. And immediately just dish out the damage. Someone does come out, but Ramses is already gone here as FN with that BKB just blows up Roger. Still sees Iceberg over here. That Inkswell not going to do anything when you've got the BKB out, but over on the back, going to fly will fall.
It feels so hard for Navi to commit to these things. Like, they did a bunch of damage to the Wraith King, but realistically, he could have gone in even without Cheese there. But his net worth is just getting out of hand completely. V-Tune hasn't felt super comfortable hard committing to fights. He died in the previous engagement. Doom was still on cooldown for about 10 seconds there, and it's basically just Navi not understanding their strength. They weren't ready to fight, and they got gone on.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
It's so difficult for Navi to step outside the base, and you can see that they were trying to do some mirroring, trying to go into the bottom. I think them should be fine here. Those spirits flying across the map. Come back!
Almost got bashed. It was a chance. It's that fight once again. They luckily killed the Dark Portrait pretty early. That was a really big deal. This allows them to chase. Ramses definitely overstayed here. Pop his Lotus Orb, didn't see the Sand King coming because the trees were in the way. Then just gets chain bursted. Too much physical damage. Easily cleaned up. Wind Ranger hits the back line. Focus fires Roger. There's still no Doom for like 5 seconds there, so almost able to clean up Doom. Didn't attack him in time. He gets the blink out and then just easy support cleanup. So 7k gold advantage now for Unique. They've got the solutions against Doom. He doesn't play good.
They're super dead
one
here.
way to cash in.
Just happen to be wandering by. Yeah.
Come on, sprites.
Oh, look at Ice, but he immediately tries to turn around. There's so much damage. The BKB comes out as B2, jumping over onto Bignum. Needs to turn around and group up with the rest of his team. The Dark Portrait, though, coming in handy again a little bit here.
A great job cleaning it up. Valentino knows he has to kill that. It's a huge threat to either him or other people, but it's not quite enough damage to burn
Where's
the
power shot? Where is it?
Incarnation.
Nah, no global power shot over here.
Oh, he was low.
Yeah, he was low. Ooh, imagine, that would have been sick.
This is like honestly one of those situations where you maybe just didn't think about it, because like I doubt he ever buys this. Getting it for free because he happened to be the best hero in the game for it, which is difficult to say, but yeah. It's just one of those things. You're not thinking about how low he was. You don't shoot the fountain. Woodford.
He's gonna go back. He's gonna watch that replay. Be like, oh my god, he's right underneath.
Double damage.
But they're in the pit.
Blessing.
Lincoln's getting popped.
If he got stunned there, it was a big deal. He would have had to pop BKB probably. He didn't know where the enemy lineup was, but if they were behind him, he almost surely would have had to pop BKB. Then taking Roche is harder. Instead, they get out of it scot-free. Trying to keep Ramses in the front to use Lotus Orb to reflect some initiation, so they're going to pop smoke though. They go BKB is ready on Doom. He's got Doom itself. Slayer probably going to get picked up here. He'll show on the way right now.
Yeah, look at the way they just immediately turn back around. Start winding up with the Stroke of Fate. Not going to be able to quite connect, but they have plenty of other means of murdering him, so it's a dead Slayer.
He does buy out his eggs though.
A bit of scouting. He's in the power shot again. Valentimos. Alright, there's the deformed Ghost Stick, followed with a very nice chaotic offering, but BKB has already been popped, so we're gonna end up losing Iceberg almost immediately. Ramses is taking down FN, trying to run for his life as well. He gets chased down by B-Tune. Fen will fall, but find the kill and always want to fly, buying back. Must be a part of this again as Ghost Stick. Look at this damage coming out. They'll take down Roger, and now B-Tune, he's left all alone. He's gotta get out there fast, and he cannot do it. That is another kill here for Valentimos.
Finally gets the hit in. Luckily, the crit doesn't trigger until you get that connect, and he's able to get him. Rough one for the PA, but he kills the Wind Ranger, but all the buybacks on everybody's going to make this harder.
Power.
Look at the way they're just invading the jungle. They're hoping they can find someone.
This feels bad to buy back. Like, they already bought back a lot of their heroes because they're like, okay, well, this is Roche. Like, this is a really big deal. But when PA dies as well, like, they don't have the best cooldowns. They lost Golem. They didn't use Doom itself, so like, they can still fight, I guess. But it's a bad place to be.
Yeah, look how fast.
Roshan has fallen into the race.
Death can't catch me now.
Right, they do it for racing. It's not a great
I
axe.
guess I can get faster.
And okay, it's not that great on Sand King, but yeah, if now somebody gets bursted down at the start of the fight, they get a couple extra seconds to throw their cooldowns out. It can be really good for heroes like Snapfire or Sand King. Not Enchantress, she's okay, throw a couple new. Now they're going high ground. More net worth on. Look at this net worth advantage, it's insane. He looks like an alchemist right now.
He's massive, for sure.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
They'll back off for the moment. We'll have V-Tune respawning in about 7 seconds. 20k